pastors, and you can let the rest of the pastors know, who are going to be ordained, more and more now you should wear your uniform, even when you go to Bentong Town. If you find your current uniform, which is very nice, a little restricted or whatever, we can make another set of uniform, white, exactly same, more lighter material. But what we should do is we should make more and more now, because I want to invite Kechara and all that to give ordination in the near future. So once you take ordination, I don't want any of you to wear anything else but your robes. You say, oh, but how come? For between 1 to 3 years, you wear your robes at all times to get used to it. The reason is to cut off the attachment. Okay? So how people look at you and you say, oh Rinpoche, why don't you wear your robes out? Because unlike some of you, I don't want the attention. Then you guys say, but we don't want attention. Oh, you do want attention, but not the kind of attention I don't want. Okay, so that's very, very important. Can some of you shift over here? I feel like JP here a couple of times. Yeah, some of you shift over here. So what happens is, yep, here, right here. Okay, so try to wear, especially during retreats, especially during ceremonies, especially if you're in KFR, try to wear your uniform. I'm talking about the ones who be ordained. The ones who are not ordained, you can still be casual for now. Okay? The ones who be ordained, train yourself. Speech, Sangha. When I say Sangha, please don't get mixed up. The real word Sangha is spiritual brothers and sisters. They're the ones who's taken on the robes. You guys are not considered Sangha. We just use that word very lightly because people kind of get mixed up what's the real meaning. You guys are not Sangha. You guys are Dharma brothers and sisters. Chodok, Dharma friends. Gendun, that's Sangha. Sangha is Gendun. Okay? So you guys are not Sangha. We don't call each other Sangha. If we do call Sangha, it's just respect. It's like a compliment. It's nice. But you're not. Okay? So I don't think anyone can take refuge in any of you. And the Sangha is the third refuge, remember? Can you imagine people ran around taking refuge in some of you? Total silence in the room, I know. Oh, I'm not putting you down. That includes me. I wouldn't want people making big statues of me, praying to me, making offerings to me, all that stuff, because all you get is me. So, real Sangha is those who are taking the robes and taking the vows. And outer behavior of Sangha is very important. I am direct with some of my students, and I tell them you're doing this, and sometimes they feel embarrassed because there are people listening, but I have you see, everything I say is premeditated. I don't do things to embarrass people. I don't do things to hurt them or put them down. If you feel embarrassed, it's your ego. It's not me trying to hurt you. So just now, like, when I stare at BK, some people may think, why are you staring at her? Oh, how come? Did she do something wrong? Did she do something good? That's your perception. I'm just staring at her because I think she looks good. Calm. Now, so the point is, when you're Sangha, you have a huge responsibility to yourself and to the people around you. The first thing the Sangha must give up is attachment. And attachment has departments like greed, me, caring about yourself more than others, grabbiness, moneyness. Officially in the past, listen to this, okay? You don't need to write any notes, just focus. Learn to focus. You write notes, you get mixed up. He's filming anyways. Now, officially, real Sangha is not even supposed to touch money or gold. And no savings. No bank accounts, no FDs, nothing. No credit cards. Sangha is not supposed to have that. Now, that's become a little impractical, but Buddha doesn't make things impractical. The reason for that is not to have attachment towards money. You see, when you're restricted to something, you are restricted because to help you stay away from what you're attached to. If you like beautiful women, and you go to places where there are beautiful women, and that's all you go to, and you hang out there every day, you're going to slip. You're going to slip. If you like delicious food, and every single day you hang out at the best buffet in town, every day you're there, morning, noon, and night, hanging out, you're going to slip. If you like sticky buds, if you like alcohol, and you hang around people who drink and smoke all day long, not that they're bad, You're going to drink and smoke because it just becomes, you feel kind of empty. Nirao told me, Pastor Nirao told me, America, last time when he doesn't smoke, he doesn't know what to do with his hands. So how he grab them all up. His hands feels a little empty. Lord knows what he did with his hand before cigarettes. Anyways, he doesn't know what to do with his hands. Grab them all up, do mantras. You say, oh, but sometimes I'm not reciting mantra. It's good to do halfway, at least roll it. Even if you're not reciting, then later recite. Or get those Chinese balls. You need to roll. Yeah, they keep you busy and they keep your hands agile. They're good for chi also movement. Those two balls, I don't know what they call. What they call? Sorry? Legerdemain. Is that Chinese? Nobody here knows what those two balls are. Okay. Well, must be Japanese. Come on, Joshua, you don't know. Wow. Sukan's still figuring out where are we. Okay. So Sangha, I would recommend very much to wear your uniform more and more to get used to having the great honor to wear this. When I invite His Eminence Kechara Rinpoche, his vows are intact. He's a real holy man. He's a real Sangha. He's a real older Sangha. And he will bring other older Sanghas along. And when he passes the vow to you, you remember this. It is more than diamonds and gold. Diamonds and gold takes care of you for this life for a short while unless you get robbed. Giving you the vows is worth much more than diamonds and gold because it will assure your happiness in this life and all your future lives. And I will not be inviting Kechara Rinpoche every time. And remember, you wait too long, he's very old. Okay? So if you wait too long to accommodate your attachments, it's too bad. We should never accommodate our attachments. We give more precedence and accommodation and help and assistance and love and cherishing and protect our attachments than our attainments. We should not cuddle, love, hold on to our attachments. And the reason is because, very simple, they don't serve you well. They're not your friend. Attachments are not your friend. They make you comfortable, not because they're your friend. They make you comfortable because you're used to it. How is that possible? There are people who kill people, they're used to it. They make them feel very good. People who steal or lie or embezzle or they gamble, they feel very good. Even their family is out in the cold, they can't pay their bills, their car gets taken, their house gets taken by a mortgage company, everything gets taken, they have no money. Yet they feel so good because they're gambling. And why would that gambling make them feel good? Not because the gambling is good, not because they're bad, because they're used to it. Familiarity breeds comfort. Familiarity breeds comfort zones. So attachments are not your friend. Why are they called attachments? Because we're attached to them. Without them we can't live, we think. And future tenses are a way to cover our attachments. I will do retreat. I will change. I will become better. I know some people in this room who's been telling me future tense for the last 10, 15 years. It's still future tense when I talk to them. So if you hold on to future tense, the future tense will remain future, always. Why is that? That's what we do. What's future tense? I will change. I will transform. I will do this. I will do that. Oh, sorry, I didn't do it. I will watch myself. I will control myself. I will abandon this. I will give this up. Will all the time. You know what happens? What you actually give up is not your attachments. Because every time you say you will, you protect your attachments. Attachments need blood and oxygen. Attachments need what? It needs you to love it. Hold on to it. Protect it. Defend it. And when people say something about it, to be vicious about it. To be angry about it. To fight. How many times have we fought with other people or said things to other people to protect our attachments? Unknowingly and knowingly. We're all guilty of that. So how many times have we lied, not done our work, not been honest, lazy, haven't transformed, broke our commitments, broke our sadhanas, and when people say something send a lot of messages, WhatsApps. We talk a lot. We have meetings. And in fact, we want to have meetings to clear the air to make sure that everybody knows I'm perfect and I'm not like that, and you just think I'm like that. How many meetings have been spent to talk and protect your attentions? How much time? And then when you look at yourself now, you can barely sit still in a retreat. You can barely not fidget around. You can barely not move around. Sit like that. Like this. Drink water constantly. Like this. Like that. What's the difference if everything you do in the retreat is exactly the same if you're not doing retreat? What's the difference? No difference. This is not a scolding. I'm giving you information. So what's the difference to a retreat? Nothing is, your body's not controlled. Your pains are not controlled. Your habits are not controlled. And during retreats, everything is exactly the same. Then it's just reciting some words and you collect a little bit of merit. Okay? And you guys are actually not even doing a real retreat. You're definitely not. You're not even 10% of a real retreat. Lower tantras, as I explained the other day. Lower and higher has nothing to do with the tantra or the deity itself. Lower and higher is the relationship to the practitioner. The lower practitioner does the lower tantras because it's less extreme than the higher tantras. So if you're lower, you do lower tantra tara. If you're higher, you do higher tantra tara. Lower tantra tara is just green tara, the Atisha version. Higher tantra is Titamani tara. If you're a lower practitioner, you do lower tantra, Manjushri. If you're higher tantra, you do yamatanga. So lower tantra doesn't refer to the deity or the path or the attainments. It refers to the level of the people practicing it. Why is it a lower tantra? Because the commitments are less, the practice is less, the meditation is less, and the discipline is much, much less. Lower tantras help you to focus on outer discipline. Higher tantra help you to focus on higher disciplines. Okay? So, for the pastors, what's very important is to wear your uniform more and more, especially when you go out to get used to it. People will look at you. They're not going to crowd to you like the way they crowd to me yet. So for you, it's no big deal. For some of you, you like the crowd. The attention. The adulation. Yes, that was a knowing wink. Whenever I teach Dharma, some of us, like Lou, have this about to drop tear guilt feeling like. He always has that I'm about to cry look, I don't know why. David always says that soon I'll be targeted by Bill. Still. Soon. But you create the causes for it. You saw the picture I sent, yeah. You create the causes. I don't know why. David's a good person. Kind. He likes to share. No motives. A little undisciplined. I won't say he's young, because he's not, but I don't know. We're all wild and born to be wild. That must be it. Now, while you guys are doing retreats, some thoughts came to my mind, so I wrote these notes down because I want to share with you. I'll give you guys just afterwards so you can reiterate it. I couldn't find papers that horrible. I had to rip apart an envelope because once I have a thought, I have to write it quickly. You know where I get the most ideas and thoughts? When I'm taking a shower. When I'm taking a shower, it's usually halfway through or at the beginning. I get a lot of ideas. A lot of the ideas I do for Kechara that worked out really well came when I was in the shower. I guess it's because when you're washing, the water's flowing, there's a sound, you're relaxed. So when you're relaxed, your subconscious mind can come forth. I don't know what it is, but most of my ideas, and I always have to keep a piece of paper and pen because I run out of shower right quickly. Because a few times I said, I did Manjushri, I'll remember. I come out of the shower, I was like, what was that? No, I do. I really do that. I really go, oh God, I can remember. I did Manjushri this morning. I know I can. I will remember. I come out and I'm like, oh, hello, shit. So I keep a piece of paper and pen nearby, so I run out. And these days, a little drippy and wet, I don't care, because I don't want to forget. Some of the ideas are fabulous. Creating the pastures was from the shower. I think having Shabdenkan was from the shower. Yeah, things like that, the big things. Okay. The lower tantras focus on outer behavior. Let me explain in brief. I'm not going to go into detail today. The lower tantras focus on how we dress, how we speak, how we behave. Intoxicants, food and intoxicants that poison our bodies. You see, not eating garlic and not eating onions and not smoking and drinking, it's not that you smoke and drink and eat garlic and onions is bad karma per se. Those are some of the foods that, according to Ayurvedic medicine, blocks the channels during meditation. So garlic and onions are one of the foods that is very strong in smell and strong in pollutants. It has medical benefits also. You know, a lot of medicines, you do this way, it can be harmful. Do this way, it can be beneficial. A lot of medicines are like that. So garlic, for earlier meditations, is quite harmful to the body. In a higher meditation, such as Yamataka, there's no restriction of garlic and onion. There is none. But in the lower tantra, when Yamataka is Manjushri, there is. Because when you're starting new in practice, everything and anything can disturb your mind. Everything and anything can obstruct you. Everything and anything can derail you. Anything and everything can throw you off. So you want to have everything and anything that can derail you, not derail you. So in the higher tantras, you can have bubli. In the lower tantras, you don't, especially during retreat. So if you're in a retreat for a month, you don't have bubli for a month. You don't release anything for a month. In the higher tantras, I mean, you don't just go, oh, I'm in higher tantra, I can release every day. You don't go and do that. But if you do, it's permissible because it's not so much focused on the body anymore. Because by the time you reach the higher tantras, it's alleged you're not so attached to bubli and all that anymore. So there's not a restriction when you're not attached. So the higher tantras, lighter way of practicing is not so much that it's lighter, it's because you've already traversed those difficulties and attachments. So by the time you reach the higher tantras, you're not attached to smoking. You're not attached to food. You're not attached to drinking. You're not forgetful. You're not attached to clothes and jewelry anymore. You know why? Because when you've entered the higher tantras, you've already mastered the three principal paths. The 8 worldly dharmas have been expelled. The 4 noble truths are very firm. So the 4 noble truths, suffering, the cause of suffering, cessation of suffering, and all that, is firm in your mind. The 3 principal paths are already firm, according to Kechara. So when you're in the higher tantras, you're not attached to clothes, food, bubli, people, relationships, money. You're not attached anymore. So the rules are not so heavy because you don't really need the rules. It's like telling a 150-year-old grandma, oh, don't swim in the middle of the lake or you can drown. Only swim with this lifeguard. I doubt she's going to go swimming at all. You know, during a thunderstorm, don't go swimming in the middle of the lake, grandma. You know, if I see Beatrix, I'll say to her, hey, no swimming during thunderstorms. It's dangerous. You can get electrocuted. You know, I'll put the sign up very strongly. So she's lower tantra, just beginning. So if your grandmother's out there in a wheelchair, you know, on oxygen tank, hey, no swimming, no swimming during electrical storm. She's like, what? She can barely move. So, like, that's a rough example. In the higher tantras, it is alleged you've already controlled your attachments to your body, speech, and mind. Food is not an issue anymore. Relationships, bubli is not an issue anymore. Money and attachments. Intoxicants. Place of stay. Appearance. You're not attached anymore. When you're not attached, you're very free to do the higher tantras and the internal meditations that gain actual attainments. When your attachments are very strong, you can do Yamataka. You can do Vajrayana. Not much result. You can even give up after 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You can. You know why? Because it was just a ritual to you. You never control the inside. So I asked Geshe before, then why did the lamas give initiation? He says because people's lifespan is not very long. The distractions are very innumerable. So today, they try to have people practice simultaneously. better to do a little bit of every day better than none. But officially, by the time you reach Yamataka stage, because you're not attached to food, appearance, relationship, people, gobali, you're not attached to money, jewelry, name, the 8 worldly dharmas, because you're not attached. You're very free. You're very light. You're very, very mobile. And your mind is very clear. You know why? Because those things fetter you. When you have a relationship, you're constantly stressed out. Are they with me? Are they not with me? Are they going to lose them? I'm going to get them? I don't get them? Do I have them? Do I don't? Constantly. Relationships, what we have, takes up 50 to 60% of our mind every day. How does it take up our mind? In worry and stress and attachment. So the deeper we get into a relationship, we start protecting the person. We start defending the person. We start being more concerned about the person. Instead of sentient beings, we're more concerned about our relationship. Instead of all beings, instead of the welfare of our teachers, the welfare of the Dharma, of the Sangha, we're more concerned about the relationship. And we're more concerned about the person we're attached to, more concerned they're happy so that they don't beat us. So every time we get into a relationship, 50-60% of our mind goes towards that person, and it becomes 70, 80, and 90 as time goes. Why is that? It's like drinking. Every day, the more you drink, the more addicted you become. You don't become less addicted. Who drinks every day one glass or whatever you drink, and then it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20? How does it become less? Smoking. Since when is it when you smoke, it becomes less? It becomes more. From one bag, another stick, another 3 stick, 4 stick, 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack, 4 pack, and soon 2, 3 packs is nothing. Nothing. So the more you indulge in the attachment, if you observe your mind, this is not a criticism. This is for you to observe. What I'm teaching you is to observe. It's not criticism. Say, oh, I feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. You are what you are. You do what you do. The truth is the truth. It is what it is. This is not about feeling guilty. Don't sit there and feel guilty and have your shoulders down. It is what it is, and face what it is. And that's all that means. So the more you smoke, the easier it becomes. And the sad thing about attachments is this. Listen up. Last time, if you have bukli once a month, you're satisfied. You have 1 cigarette a day, you're satisfied. You have 1 drink a day, you're satisfied. That's increased to 2 times a week, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day. Pretty much is a pack, 2 packs, 3 packs. And your relationship in the beginning, it's intense, and then it cools down, and then it becomes even more intense. Why does it become intense? Because you suddenly discover that your best friend attachment tells you you can't live without this person. And then all your focus is on this person. You can be disrespectful to your guru, you can lie to your guru, you can lie to the Dharma, you can lie to each other, you can fight with others, you can defend, you can protect. All your time. I mean, think of all the time you spend with your partner. That can be spent with your guru. Think of all the times you're sitting next to your partner. They have to be with you, drive with them, live with them, be with them, hang out with them, hold on to them, and you just can't let go. All that time could have gone to your guru, or being a monk and nun, or the Sangha, or about your meeting. So all the time you attach to your partner, that time goes somewhere. It could have gone to something higher that actually brings you to a higher level than to something that brings you to a lower level. So the more cigarettes you smoke, the more it increases. The more jewelry you buy, the more you want it. The more parties you go to, the more you want to. Because that party wasn't good, that person wasn't there, that party wasn't that exciting, that party wasn't as high class. And then you give yourself reasons to go to the next party and the next party. Pretty much every day you're doing selfies on the parties and dinner parties you go to. It becomes an addiction. Gambling, oh, I won. I think I can win again. Oh my God, I lost. No, but I won, you know. Lady luck's with me. Oh, I do it again. Oh, I lost. Oh my God, I won a little. I knew I could do it. Let me do it again. Oh no, I lost again. But I did one a few times. I know my luck is down. Let me do a puja. Then I do it again. Oh, I lost. Oh, I lost everything. Well, maybe I can hawk off my wife's jewelry. Maybe I can hawk off my car. You know what? I'm not spending enough time doing this. I better learn better. So I think I'm going to quit my job and go gamble all the way, because I think if I spend more time, I become more expert, I can be better. I quit my job knowing never mind, sell some drugs. Let me borrow some money from my friends. But they're in the bathroom. Okay. Take out the money and put it in my wallet. Let me sell everything. Let me cash in my insurance. Oh, my kids got to go to school. These days, school is shmool. They can learn things on the internet. They're smart kids. and let me gamble. And then the attachment becomes strong, we justify more and more. And then the next thing you know, we gamble all day, every day, until we have nothing. And then we're down to nothing, and we either think of suicide, which I hope we don't, or we take things to numb the pain. But in the beginning, it was exhilarating. It really gave us, it made me feel young. It made me feel like I'm gambling my life and I'm winning something. It makes me feel lucky. That's the same thing with cigarettes. Oh, what's all your friends are there? Come on, smoke. Don't be such a wet towel. Okay. By the end of next week, you can blow through your ears. You're an expert. And then that's just for social smoking, just to fit in, because, all these girls walk by, and, all the men are cool, they're smoking, they're kind of squinting, that maverick Marlboro man look. And you're sitting there like, I don't smoke, I'm a goody goody. So sweet young song turns into, a maverick man. So when the girls walk by, hope they choke and look at you. And then, then pretty soon, I feel a little itchy. Why am I taking a chance? I need to, I calm down. Hey, there's some stress. There's a meeting room. She called me. I need a cigarette. And then we find all these excuses to smoke more and more and more. Not that smoking is bad, but your attachment to it is. There's no difference between smoking and bullying and alcohol and gambling and relationships and anger and food and clothes and gold. There's no difference. It's just which type of attachment you all wish to heavenly manifest. Each one of you is like a yidam in your own. Like, just think if you guys were a guru tree, oh my goodness. Everybody would be punching each other to be at the top rank, no, I want to be there, move over. Take your goddamn lotus, that's my spot. Could you see you guys on a guru tree? And all the high lamas, catch it, ling room, turn and they go, that's an interesting guru tree. And then Lou will be at the bottom of the Dharma protector section. That's a weird Dharma protector. Could you see it? In the Mira will be in the Dakini section. The Linda King. It's so scary. Becky, you have an extra cushion under her. Because it'll be like Arya Lance, Arya Martin, Arya Becky. What a cushion. Just think about it. Just think if you guys were a guru tree. Think of the refuge and the blessings you guys would confer. And of course, in the middle of the guru tree must be Mila, Jen Lu Serpa. Would that be amazing? Then I have J Ketrup Singpya here, and J Ketrup Mumu here. They'll be like, what a weird guru tree, huh? Just think. Well, if we're attached, that's the guru tree you make up. Remember, at the top of each side of the lineage, the wisdom and the method guru tree, there's an empty throne, signifying for you to be there. If you look carefully at the guru tree. And with the looks of you guys, it's going to be empty for a while. My guru tree has a feather duster because all the other Buddhists have to clean your area. Nobody's using it. Now, so whether you're not good or bad because you do cigarettes, you excess mobility, or you're not good or bad. You're not worse or better. You're not evil. That's the one thing we have to realize. It's not a scolding. You're not evil. You're not bad. You're not inherently evil. It's not about that. It's about you remaining in a position that you have no control. It's about you remaining in a position that you have no control over yourself. None. And remaining in that position and strengthening that position by the different attachments. Now, when we take a lot of alcohol, or we take intoxicants, or we take drugs, I hope nobody does, and cigarettes, we pollute the channels in our body. So attainments become a little more difficult to achieve. It's different when you achieve attainments and you do that. It's different when you haven't achieved it and you do that. Some people say, oh, look, the high lamas do that. Yeah, the high lamas and clairvoyants do it. They can blow on people and heal the disease. You blow on them, they just get bad breath. Who's a High Lama? Nobody in this room. So there's no exception. Nobody in Kechara. So there's no exceptions in Kechara for me or you. None of us could pretend we're a High Lama and smoke and do all kinds of funny things and pretend it's Dharma. Or it's Mahasiddha action. Because, Mahasiddhas have other actions. They have great compassion. They tirelessly work for others. They can control their sleep. They can control their attachments. They're not attached to attachments. They use attachments to get close to you. They don't use attachments to fall. High Lamas use attachments to help you. Great Vajrayana practitioners can have mukti with you, and before you know it, you're in the Dharma. Oh my God, everybody gets initiation. Let's go get laid. No. This Lance is perfect initiation. Let's give it to me. I've got a purpose now. One means like, the answer to all my attachment dreams. Can you imagine after Vajrayana be free? I'm going to enlighten you. Don't you like when everybody's like laughing and they're trying not to laugh and they're really still and they're looking at Wami's like, and Wami's like, it's real funny. Great refuge street, take a look. I think I'm going to set you guys up. I'm serious. All kinds of weird funky roads on you guys to take a picture. Kechara's refuge tree. Could you see 6 days a week give up? The bad's over. We have enough people, Just count on how many refugees we count the Kecharans in. Say, would that be neat? A big Kechara refugee it'd be really funny. Like I said there, I was like, Dakini, please, reserved. Lou wants to be a wealth deity. Paint himself yellow and show up for rehearsals. I am Zom. That'd be neat, yes. Shouldn't show up with her sword. I know, don't even say it, but I want to be Manjushri. Don't even say it, okay? Abby and Liket skips it together with their hands and locked in together. Hi, we're City Baki. Yeah. Sarah's the empty spot because she missed the show. She took a little time coming out of the bathroom. Yeah, all of you, great. Oh. We'll wrap a couple of snakes around her head. She'll be Nagarjuna. That'd be neat. She'll stick it like. Martin, I think I'll make you Yamataka. Just give you extra 32 set of heads, Oh, no, that's your normal state. Look at JG to be Hiruka because he's very Hiruka. Hiruka is the god of sex. He is. He's the god of sex. To destroy sex. So we'll get JG, we'll add an extra pair of arms, hairless, on him. And he'll be like the god of sex. And then we'll have to get his partner as his consort, so we'll have to put something under it. It's a pretty heavy consort around the JJ will be sitting there with his consort. Really heavy, man. Because like the consort's wrapped around, Let me see. David will be Vajrayana. He's already got breasts. David will be like, too big, Really interesting. Biggie, you know who she'll be? Just think. Put pipe on the end of her nose, she'll be gone up. There's a radish here. Everybody else holds the radish. Yeah, just put a little nose pipe at the end, attach onto her nose, she'll be gone up, man. Real cool. Joy. Should be one of the 4 guardians below. She guards all your food and offerings. Don't touch it. Joy's very compassionate, very caring to herself. Sometimes when I bring food up to Manjushri and I hang out outside, I see Joy running real quick, grab her food and run back. I'm like, how do you know that's for you? That's clairvoyance, I guess. Yeah, you gotta be a lot more nun-like. monk and nun is an open declaration, war on attachments. Becoming a monk and nun is an open declaration to others, war on attachments. So we may wear robes outside. I don't think anybody will go. Nobody's going to pick you up. You go into a bar, everybody looks at you. I mean, it's very uncomfortable for a monk and nun to go to a pickup place, hang out in Jalalor, go to the clubs, saunas, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Phuket. It's very hard. Everyone looks at you like, what's that? So it protects you. It protects you by the force of the public. If you're disciplined yourself, you wouldn't go there anyways. So it is an open declaration to let the whole world know, war on my attachments. I'm going up faster. And sometimes we need public support for that. What's public support? You know that if I do this, people are watching. You say, does it become an ego thing? At first it's a little egotistical because you're afraid people are watching, but in the end it doesn't become like that. Because at the end, you know what happens? You get used to not doing all those things. So you don't care whether people are watching or not, you just don't do it. It's only recently, in the last 10 years, that the monastery has become less strict about monks going to Hubli, that's the town next to Gaden, and wearing lay clothes. It's just so much easier. There are many reasons, I'm not going to get into it. That's why you see an influx of monks wearing lay clothes when they go out, especially when they travel, even the high lamas. Last time, when I first joined the monastery, no way. You get caught lay clothes in Hubli or traveling, if you get caught, if there's proof, there's no cameras on your phone. And it's reported to the Gigula disciplinarian, there will be a punishment. You have to do prostrations during puja in front of the sangha to apologize. So it's become easier because it's become more practical. Okay? So for us, we want to get used to letting the world know that we are a monk. Like I said, after you're a monk or a nun for a while, the robes don't matter anymore. You will not break your discipline, I promise you. You will not do things that are unmonkly. You will not do things that will break the monk vows because you're very used to it and it's very comfortable. And you know what feeds that comfort? You feel free. And you feel light. You don't know how light you can be when you're not attached to clothes. You're not attached to money, to booty, to relationships, to food, to family, to friends, to locations, to geography. And all you seek is meditation. When you're not attached to those, in the beginning it's painful. It's like getting rid of gambling or smoking. It's painful. But once you're free from gambling and smoking, once you're free from the attachment, actually you feel real light. So you stay away from the attachments, not because you're disciplined, because it doesn't affect you anymore. You become light. And you're not defensive anymore. That's why real monks and nuns, if you look at them, they exude an aura, they exude an energy. You feel safe with them. Like Tenzin Palmo. We haven't had the honor to meet her and get her blessings. But when you just see her on the video, how do you feel? Moved, touched. Because you can feel her nun vows coming out and scream onto you. You can feel her lack of attachments. And everything she says and how she acts. So when you take monk and nun vows, you are making a battle cry. Down with attachments. In the beginning it's tough, after a while it becomes real easy. You know why it becomes real easy? Because not doing things that harm you make your mind light. Why does it make your mind light? You don't have to defend. You don't have to worry. You don't have to grasp. You don't have to wonder who's beating you out. You don't have to wonder about your reputation. All that doesn't matter anymore. You don't even care about face. What you care about, what matters, others and your mind. So that space is free for you to focus on others and your mind. When you have a relationship, that takes up most of your day. Takes up most of your time, most of your energy, most of your focus. I'm not telling you to break up. I'm not telling you not to have a relationship. I'm just telling you to look at the truth. So think of how much time and energy you spent on relationships in this life. Think how much time and energy you are spending on relationships now. Think how much time and energy you spend on your attachment to your partner now. You think about it. And all that time could be transferred to doing prostrations, deeper retreats, building a KFR, serving the Lama, cleaning, Vajrasattva, doing projects, heading a department. All that could come to that. But instead, it goes all to relationships, and you focus on relationships, and you protect the relationship. And After a while, the relationship actually makes you do things that are not good. Because if you get very attached to the person, something goes wrong, you pick that person over them. You know why? Not because you're a bad person, because it's the habit form. After a while, you deceive your guru to smoke, even though you say you won't smoke. Not because you want to deceive your guru, not because you don't love your guru, not because you don't respect. You love, you respect, and you definitely care. It's just the habit is too strong. So after a while, you deceive your guru. You keep smoking, although you say you're going to stop. And the smoking is not the bad part, by the way. It's the habit. It's the habit. So with relationship, you start deceiving, you start being more covert and overt, and you start becoming more vocal to protect it. If someone says something about that person, why is it you'll be more vocal to protect that person as opposed to the other people who are being wronged? Because this person provides you with some pleasure. So you want to protect that pleasure. Therefore, you're more vocal. And how does that, what is that? That person's not wrong, you're not bad. What happens? Then you start to abandon others for this person. Abandoning others for this person in secular life, of course, it's my wife, it's my girlfriend, it's my boyfriend, it's my husband, it's whatever. Of course, you say you have to, it's your family. In secular life, they say that. But you see, if you want to think on a secular level, you never become enlightened. So when you think my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, my wife, my partner, that's all you focus on, then everybody else doesn't matter anymore. You eat with that, you go with that, hang out with that, you sleep with that, you drive with that, you party with them. It's just them. It doesn't matter how others feel. What happens? When you are deep in attachment, this is the direct problem. Your equanimity practice gets damaged. Does that make sense? When you don't have equanimity, then the causes for anger and desire and greed all become stronger. So if you want to have a relationship and you're in control, yes, if you're Drigung Rinpoche or Trujang Rinpoche, you're in control of yourself, not your partner. So whatever your partner does, it doesn't matter. But if you're the Kechara Guru tree, then when you get a partner, it will increase everything in you negative eventually. I think most of us have had relationships in the past. Where has it brought you till now? You have a higher mind, more equanimity, more kindness, less attachments, more control of your life and your mind. Since you don't have more control of your life and mind, and you've had all these relationships, why do you think the next relationship is going to provide that? Oh, but it's a dharma relationship. There's nothing dharma about a relationship. Nothing dharma. Nothing dharma about a relationship. We just call it a dharma relationship because you both happen to be a little bit in dharma. Like the Lingam Rinpoches, Trujang Rinpoches, the Panchen Lamas, they're in the middle of the samsara ocean snorkeling away in control. We're just at the tip with our little toe at the shore, and we say we're in dharma, right? The dharma was the water, that is. So our little toes dipped in, I want dharma. But the real people of dharma just snorkeling in the middle of the dharma ocean, saving sentient beings. So having attachments is not bad, but it can become bad if you're not in control. Why can it become bad? Because all your time, your energy goes to the relationship. And relationships is a big destroyer of equanimity. Is it possible to have a relationship and practice equanimity? It is. It is possible. How is it possible? You just have to work a little harder. If you're into lobsters and I wave, a curry lobster in front of you, and you can smell it, you can taste it, the meat's dripping out. I mean, Vinny's already salivating. So if I'm waving a curry lobster in front of you, with delicious fried rice and all that, and you can smell it, you can see it, and it's hot and steamy, that's going to be a little hard to do something. Maybe one drop. I'll do this tomorrow. But if I don't show you that lobster, it's less. So every single day what you do is you dangle that lobster. Every day. You watch. When you have a relationship, the chances of you ever being a sangha is almost nil. Why is that? Not because you're bad. Because you're increasing lack of equanimity. One of the qualities of sangha is equanimity. When you smoke and drink, you destroy and pollute your body. And you don't have the power of reincarnation to take on a new body, to make sure that you come back in a perfect human form to continue your spiritual journey. So why would you want to destroy your body? And if you can increase sometimes don't smoke, don't drink, not because those are harmful, but the attachment to it is harmful. There are monks who drink medicinal herbs, but that's not attachment, that's medicine. So that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Then we think, oh, well, this Dharma talk is really good and it makes sense, but it doesn't apply to me because, I'm where I am and that's it. And that's very important. You see, never get used to failure. Never get bored. Oh, I'll give you a Dharma work. You got an assignment for your guru. After a while, you don't do it. After a while, it's forgotten. Oh, it's just a small thing. Oh, what's the big deal? Yeah, everything becomes a small thing after a while because you get used to saying the small thing. So you get an assignment from your guru, you abandon it. You don't do it. You forget about it. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I promise you, after 2, 3 weeks, you completely forgot you have to do it. You're comfortable with not doing it. And in front of your teacher, you can not do it overtly because you get comfortable. You get bored with it. Oh, I do Dharma work. I get bored with it. Control my attachment. When you first enter Dharma, I'm going to control. I'm going to control. I'm going to be vegetarian. I'm going to be good. I'm doing my mantra, do my sadhana. After a while, you get lazy. You go back to your old habit. You get bored with fighting your attachments. You get bored with aspiring to become a bodhisattva, to work for others. You get bored with disciplining your intake of what type of food. You get bored with fighting against intoxicants. You get bored with the whole attachment thingy. You get bored with the relationship thing. You get bored with learning Dharma. You get bored with doing retreats. You get bored with reading Dharma. You get bored with even discussing Dharma. You get bored with all of it. And then what happens when you get bored with all of it? You revert back to exactly what you're doing before you're doing Dharma. And why do you get bored with it? Why? Because you haven't broken the habit of doing what is really good for you and what is not good for you. Your battle is not won. So just think, sometimes our teacher gives us an assignment. It could be a sadhana, it could be exercise, it could be not taking intoxicants, it could be doing a retreat, it could be prostration. And after a while we just don't do it, we just keep quiet. Oh, Rinpoche didn't say anything to me, Rinpoche didn't scold me, he didn't say anything. I should be okay. Your guru will always be compassionate and kind, always forgiving. But that doesn't mean you're progressing. So after a while, whatever instructions our teacher gives us, small or big, we become bored with it, we become forgetful. And just saying I'm sorry or writing a nice SMS or writing a nice card or giving a nice gift will wipe away our misdemeanor. And then we get used to saying sorry, 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 sorry. How many people we know do the same thing over and over that we work with, and all they do is say sorry, if they even say sorry. And even saying sorry or regretting becomes boring for them. They become bored with everything. They become bored with Dharma work, bored with practice, bored with retreat, bored with learning, bored with devotion, bored with everything. They're just totally bored. I want to go back to partying, dresses, fun, tuxedos. I want to go back to the nightlife. I want to go back. I'm just so bored with all of this. I can't take it. It's a prison. If that is the truth, then your prison keepers is Shakyamuni, Tsongkhapa, and all the High Lamas. They're prison keepers, and they're all liars. So don't let yourself get bored. You know how you don't let yourself get bored? Because even one discipline you don't let lax. No matter how minor the instruction is, or how major, you don't let any of the instructions from your Lama lax. Because some people always say, oh, you said to do this, and then 3, 4, 5 years later, oh, now we see why. Well, if you can see why that instruction is followed through and then became this, why is it instruction to you? Won't be later, you go, oh, now I see why. Same thing. So don't get bored with Dharma practice, retreats, learning, fighting your attachments, fighting intoxicants, and aspiring to be much more. Aspiring to be having the bodhisattva attitude. Never get bored with that. And never get bored with it to the point where you can just give a little perfunctory, plastic, superficial apology. That you just say it. You are sorry, but it doesn't move you to do anything more. Don't have a bored look. Don't have a bored stance. Don't have a bored body posture. Don't have a bored face. Don't have a bored attitude. Because when you get bored with Dharma, you will be bored to death in samsara. You know why? You are already not because there's no gold there. So don't start letting yourself get bored. You know how you let yourself get bored? Then always people tell me, oh, whether they're 16, whether they're 16, they tell me the same thing. Oh, I slipped. Oh, my mind went down. Oh, I went this, I went that. And then it doesn't wipe anything away because you're still there. So any instructions you're given, any practice you're supposed to do, any commitments you make, go all the way with it. Don't get bored with even one promise or one commitment. Never get bored with one practice and one commitment, one promise you make. Never get bored with it. How do you not get bored with it? By fighting it and winning. Because when you fight and win and you get the exhilaration of overcoming that one problem, you want to attack the other and another and another. Pretty soon you become a team. For those who have the initiation of the deity, when you visualize yourself as Singdongma, you have the perspective and the feel and the energy and the view and the thinking of a Buddha. So nothing you see makes you suffer. Nothing you do makes others suffer. Nothing that is interactive makes the others and yourself suffer. Everything you do will be beneficial when you have the mind of Singdongma. When you have the mind of a Buddha. So when you have Singdongma's initiation and you have Singdongma's practice and you're doing the sadhana, you're doing it as your main Nidam. You're viewing everything through Singdongma's mind. Singdongma's mind is free of the 8 worldly dharmas, free of the opposites of the 6 paramitas, free of the aversion and reversion to the 4 noble truths, free from aversion and the lack of attainments of the 3 principal paths. So when you're Singdongma, you see everything through the eyes and lens of the 3 principal paths, 6 paramitas, 4 noble truths, and so on, Eightfold Path, so on and so on. So whatever you see and whatever you do does not become contaminated. Contaminated means what? Although visually or outwardly looks like Dharma, but internally it's still attachment. So when we do that every day, and we do it well, you know what happens? You start taking on the traits of Singdongma. You start taking on the qualities of Singdongma. You start taking on the mind of Singdongma. And that is supported by purification of the negative karma that obstructs you to become having the view of Singdongma. Listen very carefully. This is very subtle and it's very hard to convey. It's very hard to convey as it is. It will even be more harder to convey to most of you because you don't have the foundation. So listen carefully. When you learn karma, and you understood karma, and you understood it more, did your perspective and projection and your attitude to others change? Did it change more? Did your attitude toward harming and doing negative actions change more for most of us? Isn't that a change of perspective? Where did that change come from? Where did that change come from, second time? The change came from knowledge and wisdom. Oh, if I do that, that's the result. You mean that's why I've been suffering? You mean that's why this has been happening? You mean that's why I've been angry? You mean that's why that person did that to me? Oh. So you mean how I've been reacting back has been wrong? And creating more karma? Oh. Fear of suffering. Understanding the truth. Knowing that karma pervades our lives. So understanding that karma pervades our lives makes us look at things differently. So next time someone does something to us, are we not more forgiving? Are we not more, we let go more? When we're more forgiving, we let go more. Is it less anger? Is it less negative karma that comes from anger? Okay. That doesn't mean the person who did it to you didn't do something bad to you. Are we more tolerant because we understand karma? So is that a change of perspective? Yes. That change of perspective came from what? That's correct. Imagine if you know more Dharma, you understand more of the path, you know more of the practice. Imagine you actually practice more. You know what happened? Your perspective will change even more and more and more and more. And when your perspective changes more, all the things that you're attached to, you yourself is surprised why you're attached. You can let go very easily. You can become generous for those of us who are very miserly. Very easily. Because where does the miserliness comes from? Where does the addiction come from? It comes from your holding on to thinking this is good for you. And that's been ingrained and reinforced every single day. So when that's been ingrained and enforced every single day, and you do it every day, of course that's the first thought that comes to your mind when you do something. You guys understand? So, when you're Singdongma, do you have any of those qualities? You don't. When you don't have those qualities and you identify with either Vajrayini every day, with Singdongma every single day, when you identify with these deities and you become these deities in your meditations daily, you know what happens? The way you perceive things around you starts to change over time. Hence, the Vajrayini Tantra has 11 yogas. From the day, from the morning you wake up to the minute you go to sleep at night, 24 hours, it covers 24 hours. You know why? The 11 yogas are designed to change 11 aspects of your day. The 11 yogas are designed to change the 11 perspectives of your day. Your perspective of dressing, your perspective of relationship, your perspective of eating, your perspective of enemies, your perspective of people, of the world, transientness, your whole perspective changes. And when you do that every single day, coupled with the ritual of making offerings to her, coupled with doing her mantra, coupled with purification, then that perspective becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. How does that Vajrayini Singdongma perspective become stronger? It becomes stronger is because, like a table with 8 legs, all 8 legs are firm and strong. So whatever you put on that table, it will not fall. If one leg on that 8-legged table, 6-legged table, 4-legged table is weak, it will collapse. So not smoking supports that. Not lying supports that. Not being attached to attachments supports that. So therefore, if by knowing karma, grasp onto it because it's very subtle, by knowing karma, you're able to change your perspective and control yourselves even more. Imagine if you practice the 8 worldly dharmas, freedom of it, the 4 noble truths. Imagine you practice bodhisattvas. So what happens is your perspective goes, look, you know karma, from this you become this. You know the 4 noble truths becomes this. Then you apply the 8 worldly dharmas, the opposite of it, it becomes this. So your perspective becomes higher and higher and higher. Sooner or later it becomes this level. And then once you reach that level, they give you tantra. And then you apply Vajrayini's mind. Because you're not attached anymore. Now you attack the subtle mind, the subtle ego. So you apply the 11 yogas of Vajrayini all day, all night. Because Vajrayini's practice encompasses 24 hours a day, 11 aspects of your life per day. Your day is broken up into 11 different aspects. And then you know what happens? Then you go even higher and higher and higher. Because those preliminary practices help you change the outer behavior and get your mind ready for the inner. When you get Vajrayini, it transforms your inner behavior. So when you get Vajrayini, you get 11 yogas. The 11 yogas change the 11 different aspects of your day. 11 functions, 11 sections of your day. So there's no room for anything else. And you know what? By the time you reach that level, it's effortless. Hence the preliminary is very important. Hence keeping good samaya with the guru is very important. It develops integrity. Hence keeping your promises is very important. Hence being generous is extremely important. Because when you're full of miserliness and you try to get free food, free money, and take advantage of people and be sneaky and tricky, when you practice Vajrayini, your perspective won't change. In fact, you collect demerit every day. relationship, less attached to intoxicants, less attached to food, to money, to appearance, to face, to reputation. You're less attached to that, right? Your mind is free. When your mind is free, it's free to apply the 11 perspectives into your life and you get the higher tantra. And when you apply the 11 perspectives, each of the 11 yogas of Vajrayogini is designed to change one aspect of that day of your life till all 11 aspects become rainbow body, rainbow mind, enlightenment. Where does that start? That starts with not being bored with your dharma duties, but to be bored with your attachments. That starts with having integrity, keeping your promises, aka samadhi. That means letting go of your attachments more and more, not increasing as you get older, not making excuses for it, not defending it, not protecting it, not creating a protection wall around it. Everything is perspective. So if your perspective, why are you in this room? Why are you doing retreats? Why are you with each other? Why? For most of us in this room, it's because some of our perspective have changed. So if your perspective have changed to bring you here to be here and to do retreats. Some of you become monks and nuns, become pastors, teach, learn more, do practices, spread the Dharma, give teachings, and do green works, do care of our work, building, creating community, creating 108 community. If your perspective change just a little has brought you to this, imagine if your perspective changed bigger and bigger and bigger, then you become a high lama. What your parents say doesn't matter. What your peers say doesn't matter. What your friends say doesn't matter. What the Dharma says should matter 100%. Because none of the first three categories can give you the path to enlightenment. Your parents cannot. Your family cannot. Your friends and peers cannot. Chinese have a huge attachment to family and family values and keeping family together. That's fine when you have nothing else. When you have something higher, family is just part of the attachment. Like when I talked to the Nepali boys, they told me they have to get married. If they don't get married, they get made fun of. That village doesn't look at them in a good way. Doesn't treat them like a man. Doesn't treat them like they're adults. Their parents lose face. Their parents are very upset. Their ancestors won't bless them. They have to get married. They have to. No one in Nepal cannot be married. And once they're married, they have to have children. Because if you don't have children, you don't bring honor to your family. So once you have children, you have to provide a house and food. And therefore you have to go to a foreign country to work. Then you have to be separated from the very people you created family, so that you can make the money to support them. It's like that, and it goes on and on and on. And that's, many of them think just like that. That's all. I have to. And if you talk to them, if you talk to any of the Nepali boys, none of them are happy. None of them feel satisfied. All of them have huge loans. All of them, some commit suicide. Because they have to get married, have to have the kids, 5 or 6, have to have the house, have to borrow money to build, have to support, have to put the kids to school, have to buy the clothes. They have to. You see, if they stop the first have to, all the other have to's don't even arise. But that's their culture, that's how they think. And I'm not putting them down. Chinese culture is like that very much. You have to get married. It's changing now. Oh, you're not married now. They look at you like you're diseased. Oh, you don't have kids now. Oh, you're gay now. Wow. It's changing quite a lot. But that's how it is in ancient, old cultures. I don't mean disrespect. You have to. And all those have to just lead you to more and more and more sufferings and problems. Every single married couple I've ever talked to, let's say if I talk to 500 married couples, maybe 1 or 2 say, I'm all right. The rest, they're suffering like crazy. As someone recently told me they want to do this and this and this. They wrote a letter, they want to do this, they want to do this retreat, they want to do this practice, and then 6, 7, 8 months later, they completely ignored what they said, they completely avoided what they said, they kept quiet, and they don't write, they don't say anything, because now they're too old to do it. So you spend your whole life taking care of your family, and then you become too old, and your excuse is you're too old. It never ends. And then when they become old, you have to take care of them. You have to be at home. You have to watch them. You have to clean them. You have to feed them. They're your parents' one. And then another 10, 20 years passes by, you have to do that. He said, of course I have to. It's my parents' one. Well, we better slap Shartse Muni then. You didn't have to do that, did you? Then all the thousands of monks and nuns who highly attained, they left home. Somebody else took care of their parents. Someone else took care of relatives. Someone else took care of what needed to be. Some people come to take care of it. Because if you become attained, you can take care of all these people in a much higher way, in a much better way, not just feed them. Because once they die, you can do nothing for them. You just watch them go to the 3 go-arounds. And these are all the have-tos we create in this life. And then the time goes by. The time passes, the time goes by, and what happens? Then we suffer for timelessness. No more time. Lack of time. Culture makes us do that, and mostly our attachment. Well, I told everybody when I was growing up, I don't have to do any of that. Hence I'm here. I'm the only son. My mother said you didn't take care of me. She didn't speak to me. Someone else took care of her. One of my cousins took care of her. I wish I could take care of her, but I can't. Because I have a higher mission. So when we make all these hats, it never ends. Never. So therefore, when we stop the core of our attachments, smoking, drinking, eating, relationships, the 8 worldly dharmas, attachment, face, when we start diminishing these, you know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. You don't collect good karma because you diminish smoking and drinking or bogey. You don't diminish that. Those are just you don't need a knife to kill someone. The knife just makes it easy to kill someone. You don't need these attachments to be happy. And without these attachments, it helps you to kill your attachment to attachments that bring unhappiness. So when we start, and what's most important, more important than cigarettes and booty and all that stuff and relationships, more important is integrity. That's why I stress that all the time. What is integrity? To always do what you promise, irregardless of how difficult it is, and make that a habit. Once you make that a habit, you'll be qualified to get sadhanas, the mantras, the vows. Because if you don't make excuses for what you promised, don't be reminded to do it. Don't have someone remind you. And then when they remind you, you're irritated. Why are you irritated? Once you commit, once you're told to do it, do it. You say, but I have so many things to do. Well, if you have kids and you have to go to school, you have a lot more things to do. Somehow people manage that. So whatever you promise, if you're supposed to update, update. If you're supposed to respond, respond. If people say, oh, you don't update enough, you're supposed to update more, let them win and update more, and let your attachment of the fear of updating lose. Because the more your attachments lose, they'll die away. When your attachments die, they affect other attachments. Other attachment ultimately goes back to your mind. You're not attached. Does everybody understand that point? So when you go, so the lower tantras, such as Singdongma, no garlic, no onions, no meats, no, especially chicken, pig, fish, correct? No eggs. Those are things I don't eat every day anyways. So if the lower tantras and Buddha Shakyamuni taught you not to eat these 5 poisonous foods, and you're still eating it, why are you eating it? Because you're attached. There's so many other things to eat. You're not in 16th century Tibet. There's only tsamba. There's so many other things to eat. So if you're still eating eggs, chicken, pork, fish, garlic, onions, if you're still eating that, and you find it so difficult not to eat that, and you find it so difficult to avoid that, it's not because it's difficult, it's because you're attached. Then you check, oh, then you lie too. Oh, then you don't do your work also. Oh, then you have to be reminded. Oh, then you have to have a attachment. Oh, you also still smoke. Oh, you still drink. You see, it's all related. Because when you let one slip, it affects all the others. Because it's not the object, it's the mind. And pretty much you see yourself say, oh, never mind. I will do this 4, but I won't do this. No. If you think you're supposed to do 5 things, and you do 4 and you don't do 1, you'll be all right. The 1 will take over the 4, and all 5 you won't do eventually. Check your history. Check your history. If you're a big CEO and you have 20 meetings a week and you have to meet 30 people and you have big companies and billions of dollars to worry about and you have a secretary and an assistant to remind you of things, that reminder is because you're overwhelmed for one person. But if you yourself in this room need to be reminded, it's not because you're a big CEO and you're doing so much. It's because you have the habit of, it's not convenient, I just don't do it. So reminders, for a lot of us in this room, think this carefully, all right? Maybe try not to sleep. For many of us in this room, having to be reminded is a meter stick of how much we have not progressed. Having to be reminded is a meter stick of how much we have not progressed, how much we're still the same as when we entered Dharma. What's the difference? We just know more. Having to be reminded. So people say, please don't be greedy, please share. You already know that. You haven't achieved that yet. Please do your means. You know, you're still not taking even the smallest thing seriously. Please do your sadhana. Please do your sadhana. Please do your sadhana. You know already, you're not committed. You'll never give Ajahini. Because you don't create the karma for it. Even you give Ajahini to those people, the karma is so strong they'll run away. They cannot get it. I have arranged Vajragini full initiation and teachings and commentary for some of Kecharian students from Kensur Rinpoche, Kensur Jambai Yishi. I translated. Every single person who received Vajragini ran away. They don't do their practice now. Oh yes, there are Kecharians now that I have arranged Vajragini from my guru, not from me because I'm a clown. They have all run away. Because they refuse to do the lower practices. Some of them, in between initiation, I saw with my own eyes. I didn't say anything. Because there was a group of them. This was way before your time. We're smoking behind Kensur just thrown outside. All the monks saw. They were laughing there. They didn't see anything bad in it, because the monks are quite cute. They were laughing, saying, wow, your guru's in there, initiation, they're separate by one wall, you can just smoke like that. Oh, very rude. And they were laughing, they see these foreigners? And the monks say, look, they're smoking right next to it. Yeah, in between initiation breaks, they ran outside and smoked. Kensur is right there. That's attachment. They're not bad. That's attachment. But every single Kecharian that I took to Gaden before the ban that received Vajragini and Yamataka from Kensur Rinpoche, who's passed away now. Imagine you receive from Kensur Rinpoche like received Vajragini herself. Have all run away. One ran away because she fell in love with a boy. And I talked to her, don't. And guess what happened? She ran away. After 2 weeks, she broke up from the boy. She had no place to come back. That's one. Then she met another boy, got pregnant, and the pregnancy had huge complications, and she had to have her whole womb removed. after she had the baby, the boy never talked to her again. She's alone now. She doesn't do a Vajrayini either. She just takes care of her boy. Oh, there are a few stories like that. That's why I don't give Vajrayini to people easily, or Yamataka. If you do it without her permission, you run to other lamas, you won't have any attainments. That's why I don't give it, because I've experienced this with people here before already. That's why when I look at people who have to be reminded of things, I say to myself, I don't give them Vajrayini. When I see people whose attachments become more, not less, I don't give them Vajrayini. So you can pray and wish and hope, you can enter tantric park as much as you want. You can pray, hope, and wish. But if I don't see you doing your commitments, doing your practice, doing your duties, you can't even stay away doing a Dharma talk, you will never get Vajrayini. Why? It's not punishment. It's because the karmic repercussions are very heavy. It won't last. It's a very powerful practice. With Vajrayini's practice, you will enter Kechara paradise. That is the saying in Tibet. Oh, Kachur Dradasa. If you tell people, oh, Nanjima Wang Shuainis, I'm getting Vajrayini's initiation, immediately they'll tell you, oh, you want to go to Kechara paradise? Because her vehicle is known for that power. It's like say, oh, I'm going to go see Martin. Oh, good, he can explain things really well. You see, there's that reputation. Oh, I'm going to go see Wami. Oh, he's very patient. He'll tell you everything. He explain very nicely, very patient. He has that reputation. So you say, oh, you're going to get Vajrayini. You meet, they say, oh, you want to go to Kechara paradise? Oh, wow. You tell people, oh, I'm going to go for Yamataka. Wow. Wow. You know what? Your negative karma is going to purify in leaps and bounds. You're going to gain great wisdom immediately. Say that. Oh, I'm going to go get Guya Samaja. Wow. Wow. Your winds are gathered. What does it mean? You have control of your rebirth. Very fast. People say that immediately too. Because each practice has a specialty. So on the lower tantra, why are you more obsessed or focused on getting rid of outer attachments? Excuse me. Why? Because once you get rid of the outer attachments, that actually is like the lobster dangling in front of you. Once you get rid of the outer attachments, you know what happens? Is you gain control. And once you get rid of the outer attachments, they don't become a stumbling block anymore. You don't have to have this food, have to have this relationship. You don't have to have this money, this reputation. And then you do the higher practices. You will be more successful. Does that mean I cannot have relationship? It doesn't mean that. It means you don't have to have it, and your life is revolved around it. I ask you clearly, and you think yourself without fidgeting. How much time does your relationship take? And where could that time have gone to instead? You ask yourself, where could that have gone to instead? So everything you admire in your Lama that he can do that you cannot do, you should admire in yourself that you can do too. Because that's your goal. So all the times you've had meetings to justify your point of view for a relationship, for an attachment, for anger, for a mistake, for a blow-up, for a BS, how much time did you waste? Just justifying over and over. And you're still where you are. So you're still as sensitive as Muslim. That's what we have to see and think. So what's important on the lower tantras? Besides sitting up there doing mantras, what you do before the sessions, in between and after is even more important. Keep your promises. Do not neglect any of the duties you've been giving or any assignments you've been giving. Don't be reminded. Lessen your intoxicants. Lessen your bhukti. Lessen your attachment to it. Lessen your attachment to family. Lessen your attachment to geography and place. Lessen all of it. Develop equanimity. And then when you get Vajrayini, instead of going down and running away, you'll excel. When you do Vajrayini's practice, let me tell you something. The omens and signs are very, very sensitive. They show very clearly. She's one of the deities that appear in visions to people more than many other deities. Tsongkhapa, Tara, Gururimchi, Vajrayini, Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, these five are the ones I hear consistently. They appear to people much faster and quicker. I don't know why. Some karmic connection that they made before they became enlightened to us. Well, very quick. And the signs are very quick. Don't be stuck at just a statue and a tanga and they make offerings and auspicious, recite our mantra. That's good, but go deeper in your practice. Let go of your attachments. Let go. Let go of all the attachments that you have day by day, as Goshuka told us recently. Day by day, let go. Very, very important. So, in the lower tantras, you don't do all these small things, smoking, drinking, and all that stuff while you're doing it. If you can, if you do it, you can still do the retreat. The reason is to train your mind to let go of the lower attachments, the base attachments. I'll say base attachments. Okay, the base attachments, lower attachments, helps you to let go. So that the higher attachments are much easier. See, if you have a rose bush, you want to remove it. Remove the thorns first and then you pull it out. Then the roots will be easier. If you go directly, you hurt your hands. So remove the base attachments first. Lesson. As I said, if I said anything that applies to you, it's not intended for you. It's intended as a Dharma talk for you to realize what's going on. So when you see things through the perspective of Vajrayogini or Singdongma, your perspective will change. Watch here. When you see it one day, next day, next day, next day, next year, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, your perspective opens up this much. And this is samsara, this is dharma. It becomes like that. Then 24 hours a day you abide with dharma. Just like a high one. So the reason we let go of attachments, the reason we let go of our petty base attachments is to excel to changing our perspective. Our base attachments contribute to strengthening the habitual kinds of actions and thinking. Our habitual thinking and our habitual actions, is reinforced by our base attachments. And it's not the object of the attachment itself, it's the attachment itself. That means if you're used to lying, if you're used to breaking your promise, that contributes to your wrong perspective. Why? Because when you do that, you have to defend. When you do that, you have to protect. You have to get angry. You have to be alert. You have to watch what people say about you. You have to watch what people think. See, if you're lying and doing sneaky things all the time, you're always under the suspicion that people are saying bad things about you. You even think that about your guru. Why? Because that's your mind. So you're always on pins and needles. You're always ready to fight. People are always ready to fight and always ready to defend. People who are angry all the time, they're ready to defend, they're ready to fight, they're ready to say something. Most times, 8 out of 10, you observe them. They're lying, they're embezzling, they're stealing, they're sneaky, they're not doing their job, they're tricking you. Most times, people who are jumpy, uppity, defensive, fighting, they've done a lot of bad things that create that, or they're doing things now. They're lying, they're cheating, they're embezzling, they're stealing, and they're always on the defensive. They're constantly defending. Why? Because they got into the habit of defending that. They may not be doing embezzling, they may not be doing blah, 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 but they might be doing this. But the habit of protecting that will spill over to what they're not doing either. So even when you look at them and say, hey, you took that paper because you're greedy. Actually, they're not greedy, they're generous. But they'll defend immediately because why? They're used to breaking their promises. So when you say something about that, hey, I didn't break my promise, I have a reason. Let me explain why. It's not my fault. It was the traffic. I had kids. I'm busy. You see, they defend themselves. I didn't break my promise. I had a reason. Let me explain. And then that anger and that forcefulness and that type of energy spills over to if someone takes their paper and they go, hey, why don't you take my paper out? You think I'm greedy, is it? I'm very giving one. I always help you one. Yeah, you do help me. I didn't mean it like that. I took that because I thought it was mine. Sorry. So that defensiveness goes into defending things that you're not even accused of. You know why? Because you're so used to doing the wrong thing. Think carefully. Put it together. People who lie, steal, embezzle, take, are not doing their duty, wrong motivation, sneaky, harmful, excessively selfish, they're highly defensive and they're highly volatile. They're screaming. Do you know why? Because it's related How is it related? It's related is because they don't want you to know they're doing that. So when they tell you they're not, you don't believe it, they have to be louder. And the louder doesn't happen, they have to bang the table. And they bang the table, they have to scream and shout it. Because they don't want you to know. Why don't they want you to know? So they can continue doing it. Simple as that. So how do you help them? By not going near them, by not communicating, by not feeding them. Whoever they are. And if you have to be near them, just be neutral. Don't get into a little cubby corner, into a cozy corner, and listen to the other crap. Don't get close. Don't hate. That's why they're defensive. Because they're not doing what they're supposed to. It's very logical. I don't think we need Dharma to figure that out. Now, when you're doing the lower tantras, Manjushri, Tsongkhapa, Tara, white Tara, green Tara, red Tara, 21 Taras, Purukule, any form of Manjushri, we call it the lower tantras. Why? Ready? Loud and clear. Everybody who talks loud and clear.
I call the lower tantra because when we do it, we are one. We control.
Take your time, think and answer. Take your time. And don't try to be right, don't try to look good. Just answer. Why is it called a lower tantra? You started talking, why'd you stop?
It's easier for us to break free from the attachment to the.
Why are you looking at them? Don't look for approvals. You have a huge, I need approval look all the time. Stop looking for approvals. You're not going to get it. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
It is to the lower tantra is to help us.
Why do we call it a lower tantra? You changed the question already. Why me? It's not a trick question. I explained extensively.
Because it requires less discipline.
Very good. And one more thing you didn't cover. Can you remember, or ask someone else something else? Why do we call it a lower tantra? So Singdongma is lower than Mahasiddhas. So why do we call it a lower tantra? Sweet Town, can you tell me?
It's the level of the practitioner.
Very good. Oh my God. What does that mean? Explain more. Quit bowing at me. You're like a maitre d'.
The practitioner is not ready. Cannot cope with the commitment of the higher tantra. So
very good. Excellent. You listened. Teaching you Dharma is not a waste of time. Because the side of the practitioner is lower. Lower, not the person is lower. Their ability to do more is not there yet. Lower doesn't mean you're lower or you're bad. No. It means your ability to do more is less. Example, a 6-year-old child compared to a 30-year-old adult. Who is lower? Of course, the child. Their ability I'm talking about. Excellent. From the side of the practitioner, their capability is lower. They've arrested or stopped less of their attachments. Because of that, it becomes a lower tantra. So Manjushri in higher tantra has more practices, more meditations, more commitments, more vows to propel you to reach higher levels quicker. If you're going to train for the Olympics, or the World Olympics, or you're going to train for your high school competition, what do you think will require more training? More discipline, more work, more time. You have to give up girlfriend, you have to give up boyfriend, you have to give up a lot of free time and entertainment. Why? Because you have to do more training, isn't it? But do you have to give up more if you train for high school or for Olympics? So for high school, sports competition is lower training, lower competition. Because the result is lower. You just get local newspapers. If you Mahara and Tsongkhapa and Manjushri are not lower. Their tantras are designed for you as preliminary practice. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So why do we call the lower tantras Kriya Charya Yoga? There are 4 tantras, Kriya, Charya, Yoga, and Maha Anuttara. So the lower tantras, Kriya, Yoga, Charya. Why do we call them lower tantras? Why is Singdongma a lower tantra? Vinny? I can't hear you.
Because of the practitioner's mind.
I don't understand. One statement doesn't hit it.
It's because of the practitioner's mind that doesn't allow us to understand, so that is considered as the lower tantra because it helps us to control the basic attachments before we are able to do the higher.
A little bit, but not there. 80% wrong. We did it twice now. You have to listen. I'm going to do one more time. Listen, and I'm going to pick on you again. 3 times, explain already enough, you know. Why do we call it a lower tantra? Why do we call it a lower tantra? Abby, please.
Because it requires a lesser sleep.
Very good. From whose side? Singdongma or your side?
Practitioner.
Very good. So it requires lower. Correct.
And another is because.
Very good. So it's lower, is Singdongma lower?
No.
Are you lower? No. Your capabilities are not very high yet. Your capabilities are lower, not you. Okay? Very good. Then? What's the other one? Relax, think carefully, it's related. I'll give you a break. You got 1 out of 2. Sarah?
It is the preliminary practice before
You can say that.
the higher.
It's like a preparatory practice. You can say that. To get you ready to think higher. If you can do the lower tantra as well, the higher tantras come easier. If you do the higher tantra as well, your mind will transform and leave some balance. So right now you're saying, but Rinpoche, we don't have Singdongma initiation. We cannot see things through Singdongma perspective. We cannot visualize ourselves as Singdongma. Correct. But you see. You can recite her mantra, make prayers to her, make offerings to her. You can do everything to her that you can as an initiate, except visualize yourself as her. But you can still change your perspective. What? As a loving practitioner. So you may not be a Singdongma, but you're a Lamrima. What's a Lamrima? To see everything through the perspective of Lamrim. But you can still do everything else. Why do I not give you initiation, Lou? Why?
Because we are not ready.
That's very simple. Specifically?
We didn't have the commitment.
We don't? Very good.
We didn't execute the quality that we will commit our time.
No, you put yourself down. Not that exactly. Li Kang, near it. Now listen carefully.
It's actually more to protect us because they are.
Very good. To protect you from what?
From breaking the
Commitment.
vows.
So I don't give you the vows. Very good. It's related. You understand? I don't give you the vows so you don't break it, but you can do everything else around it. So if you're supposed to do 10 for Singdongma or lower tantras to gain attainments, you're doing 8. Why are you doing 8? Because I've seen many people run. So I want to protect you. What about these people who run around getting initiations? That's their karma. I don't do that. I don't come from that school of thought. Saranji and Kensarji and all these lamas never showed me that example of just get initiation, not do the practice, and throw commitment to the wind. Never. Kensarji taught 6 to 8 hours a day. Kechara Forest taught 5 to 6 hours a day. Kechara Forest, Kensarji, my gurus, my teachers, they kept their promises. They did 6 to 7 hours of meditation per day. I saw with my own eyes. Kechara Forest wrote books. He administered to the monastery. He taught classes, 5 to 6 classes per day. Each class is about 45 minutes. On top of that, he did 5 to 6 hours of meditation. Same with my group. I saw this with my own eyes because I traveled with them. I served them. I had the honor to serve them. They're so busy, yet they make time for their commitments. So I come from the school where if we're giving a practice of a deity, we do the sadhana, we do the retreat, we do the practice, we hold our vows, we keep our commitments. We don't throw any of that to the wind. That's how I was taught from my teachers. That's why I'm very strict with my students. I don't simply give you initiation. I can give you anything you want and mold your mind this way, but I'd rather mold you in a very strict, ilukpa, traditional way. What is that? I train you up till you're ready. I don't give it to you when you're not. I don't give it to you. Okay, this may sound a little egotistical, but I'm not trying to be. I don't give it to you because I care. That is why. So you don't create excess negative karma. But out of 10 things, I create in such a way you can do 8. Show me you can do 10. Show me immediately. Attachments, integrity, promises, laziness, not being bored with honorable. That's how you show me. Whatever assignment you've been given, small or big, you judge it as small or big. But then you demean your lama because your lama gives you small things that don't matter, is it? Your lama's not a Buddha. So if your lama gives you small things that don't matter, then your lama has a small mind. You judge your own lama. So whatever assignments your lama is giving you, you check how many have you forgotten, didn't do, or just pretend you don't know anymore. You think yourself. So show me you can do 10. What's the benefit of doing 10? The benefit of doing 10 is 10 out of 10. The attainments are faster and quicker. Even being around the lama for 1-2 days, how much knowledge do you get? Being around your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your parents, how much knowledge do you get? Nothing. Nothing. When you do your retreats, please don't treat it like another social occasion, and I say all of this as knowledge sake, not criticism. Please don't fidget around. Stretch constantly. Get hands here like that. Move. Do this. Constantly drink water. Doing retreat, you're not allowed to drink actually. I allow you to. You're not allowed to drink constantly. It's called discipline. Constantly with your water bottle, drinking, non-stop, drinking. Then you have to pee, then you have to drink. The whole session becomes drink and pee. When I did my retreats, I did 6 to 8 hours without drinking or peeing. In one session. Straight. Real higher practices, you don't talk. If you cough, spit, sneeze, achoo, fart, let out, gas, you must do the mantra 7 times extra to cover. Because during that time, the mantra doesn't count. If you talk, the whole session is wasted. So if you do 20,000 mantra, it's considered nothing at the start of over because you profaned it with talking. You're not allowed to drink. You can't constantly drink when you're doing retreats. Constantly just drink and then just hold a bottle and drink and put your mala down. Doing retreat, there's not one time you should even put your mala down. The whole point is to discipline yourself. And I recommend you to do your left hand. If you cannot right, okay, I recommend do left fair Vajrayana. Vajrayana must be done with left secretly. If you see yourself with a lot of anger, do it on the first finger. If you see yourself not able to control things in your life, especially your mind, do it with your second finger. If you see yourself as very miserly and greedy, do it with your third finger. If you see yourself full of rage, do it with your last finger. Because there's chi points here that will help you to transform those states of mind. But not one time during your retreat, and I would like the pastors to remember this, during your retreat, during that session, you should put your mala down. Put your mala down, put your water bottle, you drink, things like that. You take your phone, you look at it. No. You know why? Not that putting your mala down is bad, looking at your phone and drinking water is bad. It's focus. Focus. Those are the things you're used to doing. Discipline your mind. Discipline and focus. If your legs and your butt is killing you, is falling asleep, get up, stand up quietly, stand like this. Don't disturb the other retreatants because you respect them so much. And stand up and stretch and walk around. You know, you can. It's allowed. But don't be in a corner with a glass of water and, like I've seen some people, they just kind of kick back like Charlie Chaplin. And if you're really in tremendous pain and Most of you should be, because you're not Tibetan monks. You can stretch your legs out. Sit on a chair in the back row. When you sit on a chair in the back row, it doesn't give you more freedom to do more naughty things. It's just your physiological not able to. But if you train yourself to sit half the session, sit half the session on a chair, half to sit, you'll get used to sitting, I promise. It took me about a year. Then later I could sit 6 to 8 hours straight. Oh, I paid the price for it, trust me. My legs are numb. Anyways, what is it? It's not to torture you. If you really, you're too fat, if you're older, if most of your life you haven't sit like that, you cannot, or you have a bone problem, all that, of course sit on a chair. Of course. But if you sit on a chair, also don't fidget. Drop your mala. Look around. Look at your phone. Send messages. Drink water. Drink tea. Move constantly. If you drink more, you gotta go pee more. You're only doing a 2-hour session. How many times do you have to get up and pee? Hold it lah. Close the door, close the bridge, hold it, discipline lah. Oh, you go pee and one drop now. Then you come back, drink water, and you're wasting time. It's not bad if you drink water, go pee, no lah. It's just another form of discipline. Control your body, don't let it control you. Now, if you have pee problems, of course go to the bathroom, because due to your discipline, we don't want to be flooded. Wow, Joy's so disciplined. That's why I can see her golden liquid coming to me. Kim. Of course, go pee lah. But look, if you know you're going to do a retreat, could you drink less before you enter your session? I did that last time. Don't look at your phone. If Rinpoche dies, someone go up there and tell you Rinpoche's dead lah. Then you can get up and do what you need to do. Until then, don't worry. Even Rinpoche dead, don't stop your retreat. Tenzin Palmo's guru died. She didn't stop her retreat. In fact, she did it even stronger to dedicate to him, because he doesn't need her help. So if you're having leg problems, sit on a chair. No problem. Sit on a chair, but remember, on the chair, the discipline is the same, except for sitting on the floor. Don't keep peeing constantly. Don't keep looking at your phone. Don't keep putting your mala down. You know, some people really, they put their mala down, they take the water bottle, they drink, and they're all casual, they're looking, they fold their shirt, they put it here, put there. And what is that? Housekeeping time? Discipline. Sit straight. Make sure your back is straight. Focus. Force your mind to focus. Force it. Do you know why you need to force it? The very reason you have to force it tells you why you have to force it, because you have no control. Force your mind to do what you want, not what it wants. Never listen to what your mind tells you. Never. Sit there and do the mantra with breathing exercise. Focus on the mantra. Just focus on what? Just the sound, nothing else. Keep blocking out everything else. Block everything else out for 2 hours. Block. You get tired, rest a little. Rest without going, oh, I'm going to rest. Rest without looking like you're resting, because you got to respect the beautiful Dharma brothers and sisters who might be disturbed. They're on the same path as you. They could be distracted too. So if you keep going to the bathroom, keep drinking, keep looking at your watch, looking here, going back and forth, you distract them. That's not very kind. Well, I want to go for a retreat. Yo, don't be so defensive lah. So, just in that kind of tone, very low. If you're not with anyone, it can be a little louder. Just enough you can hear. One mala, one mantra. Focus. You know, if you're supposed to do 100,000, you can gain attainments at 50. So don't be fixated on the number. Be fixated on your focus. Like Vinny, when I ask her questions, she can't remember because she doesn't focus. This kind of meditation will help Vinny and many people like Vinny. Vinny's not bad. She's just not used to focusing. So, you should hear your sound. Sit straight. That's your chi. And if you have leg problems, sit on chair. No problem. Focus on the sound, and then, oh, I have to cook. Oh, I have to buy this. Oh, I wonder what's on my WhatsApp. Oh, what's going on? Oh, what's happening to my liver? Oh, so I follow. Block it out. When it comes, block. When it comes, block. You know, most of you during your retreat, the whole session is not dedicated to gaining attainment. It's just blocking out thoughts. You spend your whole time blocking out thoughts, and that itself is very good. You know why? Because you're not used to even doing that. The procedure of blocking helps you to discipline your mind. during your retreat, please block out all thoughts. You mean I'm supposed to stay like deaf, dumb, and stupid? Yeah. You know what you get from blocking out your thoughts? Your memory increases. Your focus and attention increases. And your concentration and your comprehension increases. I'll give you an example. Now tell them where you were born, how many kids you had, your family had, or start talking about your history. Quick.
I was born in
La 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 la. Louder. La 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 la. Paul la la la. Boobily. La Smoky. Sauna. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mr. Sunny. La 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 la. Okay, now stop that law. Stop that law. Now talk.
I was born in Penang in 1964. After that,
Is there a difference? Well, Vinny's mind is like that. Just like my mind and everybody else's. Which one was easier to listen to Martin's explanation? Right. And that's what's happening in our mind. You guys understand? That's what's happening in your mind. So during retreat, that's what you're blocking out. And when you block all that, you know what happens? When you gain that discipline, it will lead to blocking out cigarettes. It will lead to blocking out attachments. It will lead to blocking out intoxicants and food. It will lead to that because you're creating that cause to gain discipline. You guys understand? Please remember all this so you can share with other retreatants in the future, so you can pass them knowledge. Today's not scolding you, telling you what you did wrong. Today's telling you you're doing a great job. Let me give you more knowledge because this is the next step. I never explained any of this to Beatrice. She doesn't know any of this. Nothing. I never explained any of this to Joshua or Lou. Lee Ken's not heard much of this. Vinny's not heard any of this. Nothing. So for her to even answer a little, it's amazing. Sweet Young's never heard any of this. Do you see Sweet Young with a lot of attachments? No, right? Hence when I asked him a question, he can answer so clearly. Because he's focused. Because he has no family, no relationship, no smoking, no drinking, none of that. So when I talk, he can just focus and concentrate. He goes right in because there's less la-la in his mind. And he's not even meditating. He's the one that answered the best and clear and very firm. Because less la-las. The ones with the more la-las are the ones who can't answer at all. I just proved to you my theory. Is that kind of go, oh yeah, is that an aha moment? So while you're doing your retreat, block all the la-las out. And you're going to be doing that for the next 1 or 2 years. Oh my God, really? You're lucky. You know why? Because if you never do it, it will never happen. So you'll be stuck with you and la-la for the rest of your life. So when you're dying, la-la-la-la-la. Oh yes. Isn't that just so clear and concise? An example is very easy to remember. So why is Sweet Young able to concentrate? There you go. Less things filling his mind. Less fear. He doesn't have much fear. Because he has nothing much to protect. He doesn't care about ego. If you scream at him, just whatever, he looks at you, walks away. You scream at joy, oh my God. Get the armor out. Kali time. There's so much to protect. So Sweet Young will learn Dharma very fast, even if he's here for a short time. Someone who's always Kali defensive, they won't learn. I'm not talking about Kali, I'm talking about Kali defensive. Will never learn much. Even 10 years go by, they don't know much. They can't teach much. Because why? They spend more time defending their attachments. Does that make sense? That was very clear, wasn't it? So while you're doing your mantra, whether it's Manjushri, my dear friends, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to teach you, and I'm giving you knowledge so that you will be successful in your practice. That's why I called you here. I want you to win. I want you to win. I don't give public teachings anymore, as you know. This is as public as I get. or you're doing Umadavasana, or whatever retreats you're doing, keep blocking out all thoughts. Don't even meditate on a deity. Just block out the thoughts, block out thoughts. That's what they do in Thich Nhat Hanh's beautiful center. That's what they do in the Theravada tradition. They do breath meditation, walking and sitting. They have no deities, no visuals. They block out all thoughts and focus on the breath. So what are you doing? You're focusing on your mantra. What's the difference of focusing on the mantra and breath? Nothing. Because the point is what? To develop the focus. And when you can focus on your mantras and block out all thoughts, I promise you, premonitory abilities will arise. You start getting very strong premonitions. Because why? When you block out the noise, listen carefully. When you block out your noise, glimpses of the subconscious will come. And the subconscious mind doesn't need your senses to perceive phenomena. I repeat. When you block out the noise, your mind calms down. When your mind calms down, that's the gross mind. Your subtle mind is able to start arising. The subtle mind does not need the five senses to perceive anything. That's when you start gaining clairvoyance. So without looking at what Vinny is doing, when I visualize, I'll see what she's doing. So when I look at David, I'll know what he was in his previous life. And that ability will increase. They gain that from Vipassana meditation, Shamatha meditation. They gain that from new mantras. Then you'll see your premonition ability and clairvoyant ability start to rise. Way before that, your sharpness will arise. Your senses will be very sharp. Even if you're old, your senses will be very sharp. And your comprehension level will excel. Why? When you have less noise, you can concentrate more. When you concentrate more, you can absorb more. Simple. And by reciting the mantra itself, you're connecting with the Buddha. You're collecting merit. The merit itself will push this meditation to be successful. So, Akasamaraza. So during your Akasamaraza sessions or any retreats you good people do in the future, block out all thoughts as a practice during the retreat. No phone, no nothing. If there's an emergency, people let you know. Block everything out and keep training. Don't listen to me. Don't block out that you're not aware of your surroundings. Be aware, but block out. How do you be aware and block out? It's like being in a noisy room, but you can still listen to the person in front of you and focus on what they're saying, and you can comprehend. A person who doesn't train, they can be in a noisy room. They go, what? Huh? Oh, they look here. They get very distracted. Aren't there people in a busy, noisy room that can talk to you and they can focus what you're saying? Aren't there people in a noisy, busy room with a lot of people, they can't focus on what you're saying, they're always looking left and right? Those are the people who never practice meditation. So when you're doing the mantra, Akasamarasa Shandarasa Marayate, breathe calmly, sit straight. Sit with your back straight as possible, because your back straight will help move the chi energy strongly. Whether you're sitting this way or lotus or this way. Make sure your back is straight is very important. When you get tired, relax a little. And then sit up. And do not let your mala down during the session. If you have to sneeze, pick it up. Do not keep fidgeting with the things around you. Keep straightening things out, playing with your clothes, taking off, taking on, taking off, taking off. Block all that out. You know why you're blocking that out? Taking your clothes on and off like you're cold hot, it's not bad. It's just you keep getting distracted and you distract people around you. Focus to sit still with yourself. When you do that, when you go higher in your meditations, a lot of things that you've done in the past you can't remember will come to you. Your memory will become very, very sharp. Do you know why? When the noise stops, you can remember. You can focus. Memory is there, it's never gone. You can remember if you focus. If you focus, if there's no noise. So you get intellectual intelligence, focus, concentration, good memory. And your intelligence go higher. Does that make sense? Did I give you a logical understanding of why that can happen? Okay. But it's connected to integrity. It's connected to keeping your promises. Connecting to not being lazy. Most important is don't let other people do what you're supposed to do. Most important. It's compassion. So there are your retreats. If you have to drink, quickly put down quietly. Don't keep thinking drink. Then pee less. When you drink and pee less during retreat, nothing happens. People who drink more water, people who drink less water, there's no difference. If they're going to sick, they're going to get sick. They're old, they wrinkle. I see some old backs who don't drink anything much. They're still old backs. I see people drink a lot. They look at me, I hardly drink anything. It's smooth as a baby. Who says I'm 50, man? I know some of my students who drink constantly. They still look like an old backs beat. No difference whether they drink a lot or not. It's in the mind, lah. Seriously, I don't sleep. Do you see any eye bags? I haven't slept in 36 hours. It's going on 48. It's not. I'm always too busy. I'm not telling you to do that. Do you see any eye bags? No, you're not going to see any eye bags. Because I take charge of my body. I'm not attained, but I take charge. I tell my body, no, I don't do it. Shut up. Simple. So, what happens is, during retreat, if you can sit in a semi-lotus, sit in a semi-lotus. If you have to sit on chair, sit on chair. If you sit on chair, sit in the back. And don't move around, don't fidget, don't keep fixing, touching things. Don't. Make as little noise as possible. Sit still, like a Zen monastery. And recite the mantra. While you're reciting the mantra, what do you do? I can't hear you. Keep locked. What noise? Where does the distraction come from? From yourself. And all the thoughts that keep coming blocked out. So you stay in a state of thoughtlessness. You might think, but I might become blurred. You won't. You become sharper. Because you know what you're doing? You're not actually blocking out thoughts, because thoughts cannot be blocked. What you're doing is controlling the ability to focus and concentrate. Then you will gain memory of your previous lives. You will have visions of different Buddhas. If you don't have visions, you have dreams, and then you see them with your subtle mind. And when you block out your mind and you go into your subtle mind, then clairvoyance will arise. Premonitions will arise. Because those are dependent on the subtle mind. When you dream, do you need to use your eyes to see? No. Do ghosts have bodies? Do gods have bodies? Does God shouldn't have a body? Yeah, he can enter and tell us blah, 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 blah. So that is the mind. If ghosts exist, your next life exists. Your mind can exist without your body. Your mind can perceive, understand, hear, taste, touch. Your mind can taste, touch, see, and hear without your body and without your senses through meditation. So when you're doing the mantra, don't fidget around, stop playing with your phone, stop being distracted. Sit straight, keep your back straight as possible, and focus on the sound of the mantra and keep going. And I promise you, for 2 hours, you're going to go back 100 or 200 times and catch yourself, go back. Then after a while, you're drifting out, you think about this, oh shoot, I've been thinking about that again for 10 minutes. You catch yourself, go back. And in the beginning, that's all you're doing, you're just catching yourself. But we have to start somewhere. Everybody understand that? Any questions? That's very important. Wear clean, loose clothing. Don't come in with tight pants and a push-up. I told Linda no push-ups. Linda says I'm doing push-ups. I hate the gym. Okay, never mind. Can you drink during the retreat? Officially?
No.
Since you guys are all unofficial, do you keep drinking non-stop and keep running to the bathroom non-stop? You spend more time drinking, running to the bathroom, do your retreat. If like that, do your retreat in the bathroom on the toilet? Nah. Excuse me, I'm going to do the toilet so I can and put a pipe in your mouth. Put a pipe in your mouth. Oh no, you have to recite that. Put a pipe in your ear, and then put this pipe down there, and then you just gulp, pee, akasamasa, gulp, pee, akasamasa. What do you keep running to the bathroom for like a clown? And if you get a little thirsty, get up. No, have something ready. Don't get up, get a glass of water. What is this? Lounge time? Karaoke? It's not bad. Focus. These are all the things that distract you during meditation. So I'm just saying to have less distractions. So if you have a headache, get up and take medicine. You have to. If you're having a convulsion, oh no, block that out, you die. Of course, get medical help class. Slap that meditator next to you. Wake up from samadhi, help me. Okay? Wear clean clean clothes, the 5 black foods. What are the 5 black foods during the lower tantra retreats or meditations and practices we must avoid? Actually, if we're doing Singdongma every day, we should avoid the 5 black foods anyways to be more effective. What are the 5 black foods we need to avoid? No. Cynthia, name one. Louder. Like I'm going to take your money. Louder. Okay, Lance? Bawa.
Eggs.
Chicken. Fish.
I can't hear you.
Meat.
Anything left? Good. Yeah, some. If you can avoid all meat, it's even better. Chinese practice is very important. Like the beautiful Kuan Yin tradition of the middle of the Pure Land, no meat. Do you see people who are deceptive around you? I'm not talking about this room alone. Do you see people who are deceptive around you? Do you see people who break their promises? Do you see greedy people who are always trying to get free things off of you every day? Do you see people who cheat and lie to you? Do you see people who break their promises? Do you or not?
Yes.
Does it not make you furious and angry? Does it make you really angry? And when they do it to you over and over, how does it make you feel? Come on.
You want to get near them, want to
Louder, Lou baby. Louder. Bercy, louder.
run away from them.
No. How does it make you feel, not how they feel?
Feel like not to want to get close to them. Want to
How else does it make you? Come on. Tell me all the emotions it makes somebody feel. Alright? One by one. Quick.
Disappointment.
And then when you lose trust, you feel anger, you feel disappointment, how they react back. You shout, you scream, you avoid them. You want revenge, you want to kill them. You say bad things, you gossip, right? Because that's how we are trained ourselves to think. Now we change perspective. All the deception you see, all the deception out there, all the lies, the killing, the rape, the murders, the animal abuse, the bad parents, the bad kids, all the people who steal, all the people who always take things for free, take you for granted, take you for a ride. All that suffering and pain, anger, and all that deception comes and dissolves into light and infuriates Singdongma. And Singdongma's 3 wrathful eyes, and her moving breasts, and her fury, and the fire that comes from her, the skulls, and her holding blood, and her trampling, and her dancing, is a result of her perceiving all the suffering and the causes of suffering that all of you create. So it manifests in tremendous anger within her being. And the anger manifests in divine anger, where she's trampling on your suffering. She's cutting your attachments. She's drinking your karma. And she's showing you a furious face because she's so infuriated with the suffering and the causes of sufferings and the actions you create. So in Singdongma's mind, your negative action, your deception, your lack of discipline, your lack of integrity creates divine anger. The divine anger manifests in the form of a one-faced, 2-armed lady trampling on your obstacles, that by reciting her mantra, you purify the karma for her to become angry. You purify the causes of you to become angry. You purify all stains of karma and habits. So her fury and her anger, don't see her as that little statue on the altar. She's the size of the sun. She's so massive you can barely see her mouth. And her fire is Surrounded her is earthquakes, tremors, lightning, thunder, wild, dark animals. So wind, smoke, and you just hear her shouting and screaming, and her shouting and screaming pervades the 3 realms. It pervades form, formless, and desire realm, the 10 directions. 4 cardinal, intermediate, up and down, the 10 directions. And her whole mantra pervades the 10 directions. All you hear booming is Aka Samaraza Shandarasa Maraya Pe. Aka Samaraza Shandarasa Maraya Pe. Booming and booming. And it's booming so loud, yet it doesn't hurt your ear. Because with the power of her mantra and her sound, it pushes away your attachments. It makes you focus. So your anger, our attachments, our negative karma, our deceptions, our laziness, our mind games, our lies, our greediness, all comes to her, and it manifests as a one-faced, 2-armed, lion-faced Lakshmi on fire. And she's jumping and screaming and moving her head in wrath, and chopping and destroying and trampling your deceptions, your projections. So when we see this of other people, we get angry, we react back, we create more negative karma. When she sees it, she manifests in a form of a lady who, by seeing, hearing, meditating, practicing, reciting, making offerings to, purify the causes of that very anger. I repeat, when you see other people's anger, and you see other people's deception, and you see their tricks, and you see their lies, and you see them always doing things to hurt and harm, and they assume you stupid, it makes you furious. It makes you want to hit them. It makes you want to lie to them. It makes you want to hurt them, get them, gossip about them. It creates more causes in you to do more harm, so that you create more negative karma to be around that even more. But Singdongma sees the same thing. And when Singdongma sees that, not just in the small group, in all sentient beings, it creates the energy of her having so much wrath, so much power, shaking and trembling, moving and dancing. And her mantra, her fire, her body, her breast, her face, her shoulders, her arms, her leg, her toenail, her claws, completely becomes the very object that takes away all of that from you. So you focus on her dancing, her moving, her shaking. You focus on her mantra, booming like thunder in your ears, and you hear nothing else. That's another way to drown out the noise in your mind. You focus on that. So sentient beings' negative actions infuriate her to emanate into a causal body, into a physical body and mantra to destroy the causes of your anger and suffering. Your anger and suffering that you see of others makes you even more angry and create more karma. You see the difference? You understand that? How do you feel?
Visualization.
Makes sense?
Yes.
Now do you know why she emanated and why she's in her wrath? Her wrath, you're making her angry. You're making her pissed off. And she's gaping at you with her mouth open and screaming at you. And her fangs are bared at you. And by doing that, it purifies her karma. It creates a mantra from her mouth that when you recite purifies your speech. So your negative habits and mind and actions infuriates her to create herself in such a way that it purifies the very causes that in the future you won't be like that. Whereas in your case, my case, when I see that, it infuriates me to commit even a crime. So everything I do becomes more suffering. So when you create more sufferings and I'm pissed off, you cheat me, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. So I create more karma to meet even more people who cheat me so I can beat the hell out of them and create even more karma. But your cheating and your lying makes Singdongma emanate in such a form that it creates the sound and body and visual in such a way that by contacting her, reciting her mantra, you don't do that anymore. with enmity, dharmakaya. Don't like, don't hate. Her blue body, in a nutshell, is the 8 worldly dharmas. Her two breasts represents one view, not two. That's why the breasts are saggy. Women's breasts who are erect and beautiful, erect and plump are considered beautiful. When it hangs, it's considered not beautiful. So why does she have two breasts? Her two breasts represent two views, contradicting views. Because they're hanging, it means there are no two views. The two views are wrong. Sour, hanging. Her knife is in the air. She's just not standing there like some kind of weird spastic. She's chopping, she's cutting, she's slicing, she's destroying. She's taking your karma, putting it inside her gabalan, and drinking it. Why does she drink it? Because delusions, negative karma, and harm, and horrible actions never affect her. That's why she can drink it. You can't drink it. You can't drink other people's harms. When people do harm to you, you never take it, you fight back. That's why you suffer. Singdongma drinks it. Why does she drink it? Because she shows you her state of enlightenment can never be harmed. Reach her state. Her body is naked and magnificent. She shows you her private part. Why? She has no fear of ego anymore. She's egoless. She doesn't care what she looks like, how she looks, your opinion, that opinion, because your opinions are false. Her hair is standing up straight, orange, on fire. Like fire. You know when fire makes that sound? What's that called? Huh? Sparks. Sparks. Her hair is burning and sparks. Like thunder, burning. All gnosis, all perceptions, all projections are burned. She has no projections. Head is standing up, meaning she's reached highest level of nirvana. She has no projections. It's all burned up. Her face is furious. And that of a lion, roaring, moving, the king of animals. She's kind of weird because if she's female, she shouldn't have a mane, right? I mean, male lions have a mane, females don't. Maybe it's a wig, Tina Turner wig, I don't know. So she borrowed a Tina Turner wig. But nothing in the emanations of Buddha makes sense in our world anyways. And she's looking, she's roaring with 3 eyes. She's letting you know, by doing her meditations and her practice, you do not need eyes to see. You will have the eye of wisdom. Her fangs are bearing at the 4 types of maras and telling you to practice the 4 noble truths. Because the 4 noble truths is the way to destroy all maras. All. Her tongue is flickering. Her hair is moving. Her body is moving. She's alive. And she's filled with fire. That fire is fed by you. As long as you keep creating karma, you keep making suffering, you keep cheating, you keep lying, her fire stays burning and she stays alive to help you. She arose to absorb your suffering. And all you hear is her booming mantra. So while you're doing her retreats and her mantra, you can do 2 things to create concentration. One is to block out all thoughts, hear nothing, see nothing, focus nothing, although your eyes are open. Or focus on her mantra. Aka samarasa shandarasa maraya pe. That's what you hear. That's not what you're saying with your mouth. Booming. Why is it so loud? Quick. Once upon a time, there was a little David. Tell us about you. Quick.
Once upon a time.
Akasamarasa shandarasa maraya pe. Akasamarasa shandarasa maraya pe. Can you even concentrate on what you're saying?
No.
Okay, get lost. And when you have that booming mantra, it's not just indiscriminate sounds. It's the mantra of a lady Buddha who purifies your body, speech, and mind. So when that mantra is booming and loud, coming from her body, speech, and mind, even the pores of her body, the mantra is coming out and penetrating your body. You don't have time to think of your garbage in your mind. 2 ways to develop concentration. Do you see what I'm saying now? Abby, isn't that powerful? You look amazed. Are you amazed? What are you amazed about?
Because her anger is out of compassion and can help.
We always say that, but how does that work? That's what I'm explaining to you. We always say that. Bhajanji's anger is out of compassion. How does that work? How do you have compassion and anger? When I'm angry lah. What compassion? Get out of my way. Now you understand. And I was sitting in my room, I had that premonition. I had to come and tell you guys how to explain the anger to you. That's how you visualize Singdongma. And then if you want to go further, feelings from her pores of her body, beautiful lady, Singdongma, this powerful lady, goes out and touches every single sentiment, even the sentiment, especially the sentiments that bother the shit out of you. Oops, sorry, I'm on camera. Bother the caboose out of you. And more go into them. Not to get revenge on them, for compassion. Isn't that powerful? If you have to go to the bathroom, you have to. Make sure you rinse your mouth and rinse your hands before you come back, and do not talk. Rinse your mouth, rinse your hands, and come back. That's it, you come back. So what are 2 ways to develop very powerful concentration, focus, intelligence, and memory? What are 2 ways? Name me 1 way. Joshua?
Block. When we are doing the retreat, block thoughts.
What do you say?
Block our thoughts.
Yes, very good. And keep blocking it. Block doesn't mean you're blurred. Block means you don't lose yourself in the thought. What's the second way? What is the second way? Joy?
Focus on the mantra.
You hear it. You hear yourself and you hear the mantra very loud, emanating from her body. And when it's so loud, should we do it again with David? When it's so loud, can you even hear yourself think? Can you focus? Can you talk? You can't. Exactly. And that's why do you want to do that? So that you stop all these thoughts constantly. And those thoughts are the ones that feed your attachment, feed your lies, feed your forgetfulness, feed your all the negative things that we do. Because we can't focus, we can't stop. Because we can't focus, we cannot stop. Don't be bored with Dharma. How do you become bored with Dharma? You do something for a short while, you don't get results, and you move to the next step. You lose the next one. You do it all the way till you get results. If you've been assigned to work, do it all the way. If you've been assigned to exercise, you exercise so you see your body fit, you don't get sick so often, then you know you got the result. You keep it up. If you've been assigned to do your sadhana, you keep doing it and you see your mind transform and change. If you've been assigned to sweep up and clean, make sure every time anyone walks by, sweep up and clean. If you've been assigned to stop saying I'm sorry and forgetting, you stop saying sorry because you stop forgetting. Don't get bored with Dharma. Don't get bored with Dharma work, Dharma action, Dharma practice, Dharma retreats. Don't get bored with Dharma attainments. Get bored with samsara. Because if you get bored with it, you go back to samsara, and you know what? This time when you go back, you'll be free for a few months, and then you'll be bored out of this stuff. Everyone should do the rituals. Some people are using the bell mantra, some people are not. Some people let other people do it. The umze should be switched every session. You can have one main umze and a seat next to the umze, so that umze stays for the whole 3 days, 6 days, 10 years, 1 year, whatever you're doing it for. Then you have a secondary umze. That is to train up the discipline. Everyone should do your mantra and bell. Everyone should pick it up and use it correctly. Put it down. Try to use a smaller bell. Don't use it. Everywhere. I'm sitting next to the big bed. I always use small bells, so I don't just disturb everybody. Use your mantra and bell because you'll need it later for higher tantra rituals. It has a lot of meaning which I won't go into today. Make sure your table's placed well. Make sure your bell's placed well. Make sure your mala's placed well. Make sure that your books and everything's placed well. Make sure your cushion's ready. If you need to elevate, don't elevate yourself during retreat. Get it all ready beforehand. Go a little early and sit and see how you're comfortable now. Not during the middle of the retreat, you're fixing this, you're fixing this, you're drinking water, you do that, you're going to pee. You're doing everything except focus on the mantra. So even you do 100 retreats, nothing happens because you didn't make anything happen. You're still you. You're still distracted. The key is distraction. Distraction leads to further enhancing your attachments. Everybody understand? Any questions? Any questions? Is this what you guys do? No. Everybody should have a mandala. Everybody should learn how to do a mandala. I've given teachings on YouTube. Everybody should have a mandala for retreat. If you have a long mandala, what are you doing? You're offering it your 10 fingers. What's so good about that? It was up your nose, up your armpit, up your butt, everywhere. And then you want offers to put them. Here, have my crappy fingers. Everybody should have a mandala. Everybody should have a nice mandala set. And if you can't have a nice mandala set, visualize it to be nice. Learn how to do it. There's a way to do it. First this, how to purify. That Om Bezibimi Ah, Om Manjushri Hill, Om Bezibimi Ah, Om Manjushri Hill, Om Bezibimi Ah, Om Chijali Boy, Sha Babo, Paws of Oni, Yu Bagan Chu, John Jomin, Ludan Duba, Ayadan, Aya Shen, Yundin Dalan, etc. As you recite, there are specific places where you put the rice. Everybody should have a mandala. When you offering your 10 little cruddy, ugly, dirty fingernails. Here, I offer you the whole world. Singdongma's like, really? You cut your nails first? What's your mandala? You spend so much on dinner every day. You spend so much time on dinner, lunch, dinner, lunch. You can't buy a mandala, is it? Everybody should have a nice mandala and use it all the time for retreats. And learn how to recite and do it. Memorize it. How to memorize all that? You memorized everything else you wanted to do in your life, didn't you? You memorized how to do bubbly. Memorize it. Do the mandala. Do it correctly. You cannot do for this retreat, make sure you have mandala for the next one. And you don't practice during the retreat, you practice before. And don't make noise and don't joke and play and make everything so fun. It's not fun. Your attachments are not fun. Your lack of attention and lack of focus is not fun. Your being stuck in mandala, in samsara is not fun. You are not fun. Learn how to do the mandala. It's like it's here. What's this last part? Page 7. Oh, good. Sure. Yeah, very good. And all these papers should not be dog-eared. Should not just thrown here and there. Should not be folded and just rudely put here and there, got fold. If you want to fold it, make it into a booklet. This is Dharma. This brings you to enlightenment. This is more important than all the Kama Sutra magazines you've seen in your whole life. This should be put well. Should be put respectfully. Should put it in a folder, put nicely so you can use it again. Never mind, I got a printer, just throw it out. Yeah, the paper's nothing, the ink is nothing, but the content is something. Before you use it, touch it to your forehead, and then look at it respectfully. Make sure your hands are clean. After you're done, touch it to your forehead. When you show that amount of respect to the Dharma knowledge will grow. Take care of your sadhanas. Take care of them very well. Never put them on the floor. Never just throw it here and there. Never just stuff it in your bag and it's broken here and there. Just fold it simply like that. Take care of it. And if it does get ruined somehow, respectfully, dissolve it into the letter A, dissolves into you and burn it respectfully and get a new one. Sometimes it does get destroyed, samsara. You know, we can't help it. Temples burned down, so what's a piece of paper? Of course. But the whole thing's respect on it. Okay, so today I wanted to tell you about attachments. I want to tell you how to related to our mind and always being busy and not able to focus, and then how that feeds attachments. Then I want to tell you how we can cut those off by doing the meditation on the mantra, or just by cutting out thoughts. Then I wanted to teach you also how to understand what is the theory of a Buddha and what's the effect of the theory, and how to use that for our benefit. Then I wanted to teach you some rudimentary rules and regulations for our retreat. All the rules I gave you for retreat, drinking water, all that stuff, it's actually not meant to torture you. It's actually meant to help you discipline your mind. Because this cannot, everything cannot. Even a few hours thirsty cannot, everything cannot. Even hold your pee cannot, everything cannot. After cannot, from small cannot become bigger, cannot, then you become a diva. You walk into a move over Singdongma. You become a diva. The whole point of holding your pee, holding your drink, holding your water, discipline, sitting straight, stop moving, stop yawning, stop scratching, stop playing, stop making all kinds of funny mudras. It's not so much those mudras you're doing or the drinking, all that is bad. It's that even something small like that you cannot control. Even a little pain in your legs you cannot tahan. Wow, you're so delicate. Everything cannot. That's the whole point. You see, nobody said developing discipline is painless. The spiritual gym is not painless at all. Gyms are painful. Go run 1 hour on the treadmill. Go do weights. You see how painful it is now. Does everybody understand? Make sure your retreat space is clean. The mind should be clean. The retreat space should be clean. Be generous with the offerings, meaning always cheapskate, make everybody else pay, and then you offer up. Actually, when you offer up, you're not offering anything because you're a cheapskate. Be fair. Be fair. Make sure the space is clean. Offer some to Singdongma every day. And then recite it well. Do the rituals correctly. Learn. Do the mandala for the next time. Learn. Don't learn during retreat. Don't learn 1-2 days before. Learn now. Learn before the next retreat. Whether you're alone with people, do it correctly. Do the mandala offering correctly. How you lay it down, how you recite correctly, and the visualization. The teacher should teach without pride, and the learner should learn without ego. What is learn without ego? Once I know this, I'm going to look good. That's with ego. The teacher should teach without pride. See how much I know? No, you don't know anything. You don't know. If you teach with pride, you don't know anything. You're just a parrot. Sit straight, sit comfortable on a chair or cushion. If you need to stretch your legs, stretch. If you've got some pain, endure it. If you're a little thirsty, endure it. Don't drink constantly. Pee constantly. It's just 2 hours. Even that cannot discipline, is it? I promise you, drink more water or you drink less water. If the karma says it's over, you're going to look like old bat. You're not going to be healthy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference whether you drink more or less. It's just what the doctors say. I do everything what the doctor said not to do. Look at me, I'm smooth and beautiful. So you can drink all you want. It doesn't make a difference at all. The drinking is not the point. It's that I have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, always. Now, if you have a medical condition, it's different. It's very different. That's your body, that's not your mind. It's the karma activated in your body. You can't control that. So if you have diabetes, you need to have a little snack. Even in between retreat, you need to have a little snack because you have diabetes. That's not you not having discipline. It's your negative karma manifesting in a form of sickness, which can be even a bigger obstacle if you don't take care of it and you can't do any dharma. So by doing a little misdemeanor, it helps you to do more dharma. You understand? It makes a lot of sense. Do your vajra and bell. Hold your malas well. And during retreat, your mala should not be left down. And don't be reciting mantra. Sometimes people like that, recite like that. You put it under their phone. Why is it under your feet? Why is your mala under your feet, under your butt, under your thighs? What? You got holy thighs up. Your thigh is Singdongma, it's a Singdongma. Why is your mala under your feet? Why is it under your leg? Why sit in meditation like this? What is that? No. Make sure your shoe is far away, because Singdongma is present. quietly with the deepest respect to the other meditators. Use your left hand to train. Singdongma, there's no specifics, but you use your left hand because in Mother Tantra, one of the requirements to do everything with the left hand first. Let's not get into it now. With the left hand. You can do this finger, this finger, this finger, or this finger. Up to you. So it doesn't matter. One mala, one mantra. Keep it at your heart. Train. So your hands are focused. Control your body. If you get tired, put it down a little bit, bring it up. But it shouldn't be onto here. No. You reincarnate, you're going to create karma to be a midget. You can come back as a dwarf. What is that? And then, you put your mala down, a house freaking keeper? It was Martha Stewart, was it? Oh, now I'm comfortable. What is that? I don't understand what that is. You're not bad for doing that, but you're not controlling your body and mind. That's the whole point. 2 hours, 3 hours, keep pushing. It's really hard, I know. I'm not making fun of anyone. It's really hard, but it gets harder if you don't do it. It's really hard, I know. I had to do retreats with my guru, so I didn't breathe. I was like, when I was doing a retreat with Gaden Rinpoche, there's about 9 of us. We're up in his protector room in Nepal. Manjushri on the throne there. There was one fat monk next to me. He was older, he was fat. You're not supposed to eat, you're not supposed to drink. He was cheating the whole time. He got on my nerves. He really pissed me off. We're doing Yamataka on retreat, And I'm like focusing, I'm doing my thing. Rinpoche gave instructions. And in between, he always comes in between retreats. So your sessions are supposed to be 2 hours, it becomes like 5 because he gives a talk, which I'm grateful for. Because the talk is more important than the mantra. And so he gives talks and he explains and he goes off and comes in. And when he's around, that monk next to me, he's older. He's all like focused and doing his mantra and listening. The minute Gaden is gone, he's sleeping. I'm like, I can't talk. I want to write a note. He's like sitting there like. The whole 2 hours he's sleeping every day, every session. I'm not kidding. He's always sleeping. And I'm sitting there meditating. I gotta block out his snoozing. He's like, and it gets loud. I dare not say anything because he's older, I dare not. And he's sitting there. His name is Gaden Shartse. Oh, no. I'm not gonna tell you his name. Anyways, he was snoring away. And then when he finally wakes up, he's hungry. He's like, and he literally does that when he wakes up. And then there's all this dry rice. He's eating the rice. I'm like, you're cheating! Because he's hungry. He's quite fat. So he's like, and I can hear him crack, crack, crack. And I'm like, I'm starving. Like 1 grain of rice would help me, I mean, when you're hungry, even 1 grain of rice can work. And he's eating rice, and he's sleeping, and he's snoring, and nobody reports him, and he's sitting right next to me, and sometimes he like, and I'm like, oh, move over. And I'm all goody sitting there doing retreats. And I swear to God, we did this for like 10 days, and it really got on my nerves. I was like, I couldn't, and the thing is, once you start retreat, you have your seat. You can't change it. Because you put the swastika and everything on it, you're stuck. So I'm like, oh, next time I'll put my swastika somewhere else. I didn't know he'd be like that. I thought he'd be like, all wonderful and fabulous and senior. And when Gaden walks in, I don't know, he wakes up, and he's doing his mantra, and he's all goody, and I'm like, you're such a hypocrite. I'm like, oh God, you're good. And in the end, I realized, look at my mind. Why am I judging him? Maybe he's in deep meditation, pretending he's sleeping. Why am I thinking all these negative thoughts? Why am I thinking it's unfair? Why do I want to report him? Why am I so goody? Why am I so, what's that better than thou? What's that when you're always like, just the one? Self-righteous. Huh? Yeah, why am I so self-righteous? At the end of the retreat, it dawned on me. I was like, oh. Then I had another fun friend, Billy. He didn't help me out. He said, did you see him sleeping during retreat? I was like, yeah, I did. Did you? He's like, yeah. He said, it's so unfair. I said, I know. And he said, there's no meat here. Let's go get meat. I said, let's go. So me and the other monk, we sneak off and get meat. And while we're eating, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm cheating. Oh, I mean. And at the end of the day, I actually thought to myself, see how my mind operates, see how judgmental, see how self-righteous. do I have any attainments? And if I'm going to have attainments, he's the very people I'm supposed to help, and yet I'm putting him down. So what kind of Yamataka retreat? So my whole Yamataka retreat was cool and neat, but I wasted the mantra by being angry with him. I learned that. I was angry with him the whole time because I was so self-righteous. And you know what? If I just blocked out all the noise and all the sound, I wouldn't hear him. And I would gain attainments. I realized that at the end of the retreat. I'm not trying to be goody-goody here, really. And I realized why Kanchenji said nothing to him. Look how it disturbed my mind. And you know what's the funny thing? It didn't disturb anybody else except Millie. Nobody else. Nobody even noticed him. And I saw how my mind, how self-righteous I was. This was at Nepal. So when you're doing your retreats, hold your mouth as well. If you need to get a drink, drink quickly, put it down. Don't keep going to pee unless you really can't hold it. Don't stuff yourself with food and drink before retreats. You'll be sleepy and have peanut butter stuff. It's part of the discipline. Or if I'm not hydrated, I get sick. Honey, even you're hydrated, you get sick. Well, fish don't get sick, they're hydrated all day long. Stupid. So stupid. Don't tell me all that crap. I'm not stupid. And then do your mantra. One, and focus. And do it well. Pull it towards you. Pull the utility. And then block out the sign or focus on the mantra aloud. Sometimes you get tired. Put your hands down. You shouldn't stretch and move around. No. Because there are people around you. Even you're alone. Singdongma is there. What's so bad problem about stretching? Nothing. Discipline. Discipline. And if you have to go and pee, you really have to. You just control yourself. You cannot. You got a pee problem. Fine. Get up. Put your mouth down respectfully. Get up quickly. And go quietly. Do not disturb anyone. With your head bowed. You should always walk among retreaters with their head bowed because they're focusing. You don't know who's gaining attainment. So you walk by always with your head bowed. Go to the bathroom. After you're done with yourself, wash your hand, rinse your mouth, and then come back and walk quietly and sit down to resume. And don't keep moving things, fluffing things, straightening things out. This is not Martha Stewart time. Everybody understand? If you fart, you burp, or any of that. There's two, sometimes you do 3 mantras for it. I just tell you 7. If you fart, you burp, you poop by accident, not poop, but you fart by accident, you burp by accident, you sneeze by accident, you cough, just do 7 mantras extra. Oh, I'm going to do 7. Don't be so calculative. Get attainments, not how many mantras you do. Oh, I did. How many did you today? 10,007. The 7 doesn't count, honey. It's making up for the 7 you missed by farting. That's 7 mantras. So don't be so calculative. Does everybody understand? Okay. And when you're done with the retreat, you should be sad, not happy. Oh, now I can go and fool around again. You should be rejoice you did retreat. You got to go back into samsara again. The purpose of retreat is to become attained, enlightenment, less attachment, so you can be a benefit to others. The purpose of samsara is that you go deeper and suffer more and bring more suffering to others and yourself. This is the purpose of retreat. Think how lucky I am. KFR is provided. Got sponsors, got food, got aircon, got lights, got fans. My guru and my dharma brothers and sisters worked so hard to provide this place for me. How lucky I am to be here. Everything's provided. What am I, a diva to show up? I'm some star. How lucky I am. Everything's provided. The facilities. And even my guru gives me teachings directly so I have a successful retreat. Everything is handed to me on a golden platter. May I help KFR? May I raise funds for KFR? May I clean and wash? May I maintain? May I do everything so KFR can do even more of what I'm doing today? How lucky I am to be here. How lucky I am to be practice. How lucky I am that everything's handed to me on a silver platter. Even the teachings are given to me directly and quietly and comfortable. Should be like that. And feel grateful. And how do you express gratefulness? Transformation. How do you express transformation? By not burdening your guru and the people around you. By transforming. Never burden your guru. Never burden the people around you. Work towards that. And how do you do that? By developing concentration. By developing concentration, you have the force and the ability to everybody understand? You can apply what I just shared with all of you to any retreats you do individually as a group and do more and more. Now, when you do these short retreats, 2-3 days, it's very simple. Real retreats take a long time. By tradition, you have to do Singdongma, ka, sa, ma, ra, sa, shan, da, ra, sa, ma, ra, ya, he. How many is that? 14. You have to do 1.4 million for a basic retreat. It's 100,000 per syllable. So Tara is 10. So a basic retreat at Singdongma is 1.4 million per person, not collectively, to gain attainment. Don't be afraid of the numbers. You can gain it before or after. And why are you fixated on number? You should be happy with the practice. So what you're doing is not even a real retreat. It's very light. So doing retreat, if you can't control yourself, drinking, moving, peeing, what are you going to do in a real retreat? But Yoginis retreat, a genuine one, a full blown out one, is 3 years, 3 months, 3 days. If you can't be locked up at Manjushri Hill for 2 days, how are you going to be locked up for 3 years? So how am I going to be locked up for 3 years? Because in those 3 years you see a massive transformation of your mind. You'll come out a different person. Brilliant and bright. Most lamas gain attainments during retreats. Most. During those long retreats, that's when they gain their high attainments. Most lamas. That's why real lamas, real practitioners, always seek a place to do retreat. Because that's the key to becoming enlightened. Why retreat? Retreat is when you retreat from samsara, retreat from your distractions, retreat from family or friends and all the mess you created. Family and friends are the mess you created. You can make your parents independent of you. You don't have to have them controlling you so you can't do dharma. You can make your spouses independent. Why did you even get a spouse? You can make your kids independent. Why did you even have kids? You created all that. Don't try to blame it on something out of it. You created that. Now there are special cases when they're very sick or ill or whatever. That's different. But you created all that mess. So don't use the mess to create more mess. So the more relationship you want, remember, that's how much time you put into a relationship. And that's it. Good or bad. Now if you're blessed with a partner that does dharma and goes all the way, that's a little different. It's a little different. But don't use that as an excuse to increase more attachment on it. It's a little different. There are dharma couples that do tremendous dharma together. There are always exceptions to any rule. It's not just across the board. And when you're done with the retreat, do a very good dedication. And during retreat, don't fall asleep. During dharma talk, never fall asleep. If you're sitting with someone talking, you fall asleep, how does it look? You want to face what? You can fall asleep with someone when they're talking. How you can fall asleep with your guru who gives you so much more than just the breath? Never fall asleep. Focus. And when you're done with your retreat, do a supreme dedication, King of Prayers, and pray. Don't pray for more retreats or whatever. Pray, you may gain attainments. When you pray, you can get more attainments. Then the attainments might come by study, by debate, by retreat, by contemplation, come many ways. Leave it open which way it will come. Does everybody understand? Yeah. Dasso. Always. And by doing this retreat, may we create the causes of KFR, be a place filled with people who are doing genuine retreats, and gaining attainments, controlling their mind, developing great compassion, and being great teachers, and be a tremendous benefit to others. We will create a situation for KFR to make many Dharma teachers. Because an empty temple just doing pujas and prayers and making incense is nice, but it will not sustain. So we will make KFR become a place of 108 special beings who live here, who abide here, who practice, who learn, who do retreat, who teach, who clean, who grow, who paint, who wash, who sweep, and maintain this beautiful little spiritual community. And from this spiritual community, we create teachers, we create meditators, practitioners, great nuns, great monks. We create great, great retreatants so that people can gain enlightenment here. So that Kechara Forest Retreat becomes a portal for people to enter Kechara Paradise. All those who can enter KFR has karma. All those who can remain, study, stay, and practice has very good karma. KFR will become like Gaden, I dare say ambitiously. It will become powerful. It will become a place to create many teachers, many practitioners. And to work in KFR compared to a secular job, you're wasting your time with a secular job. Secular education, secular job is a waste of time. Because all that does is that teaches you how to make more money so you can buy more cars, more houses, more trips, and more distractions. That's all it is. Sustain KFR, plant, clean, weed, wash, sweep, donate, help, maintain. Most important in KFR, the best way to make growth is practice and transform. That's the best way. If the temple is sparkling, clean, and beautiful, but no one has attainments, it's just a sparkling, beautiful temple. So, and then when we create this energy of retreat, when people come here, they'll be blessed, they'll be healed. They'll feel peaceful, they'll feel happy, even the animals will be blessed. The minute they walk into KFR, they'll feel good by the power of our blessing the place with our retreats. That's what Jeremji and his main disciples did in Tibet, for Gaden, to create it to become such a powerful place. It becomes powerful because our mind transforms in that place. Why is Bodh Gaya powerful? Because under that tree, Buddha transformed. He became a self-centric, selfish, angersome, hateful person into that of a fully enlightened Buddha. And so that spot marks and is blessed for eternity of that transformation. So this place can be the same. The spot you're seeing transformed. Become a high Lama. Practice. Take your vows. Hold your vows well. Some of your pastors are taking your vows over. Hold your vows well. Happily take your vows. Commit to your monk and your nunhood. Don't be afraid. You're not leaving anything worthwhile behind. Keep the place clean. Wash the place. Maintain. Do practice. Do drink. Most important, show love and compassion. And don't be greedy and grabby. Those of us we know are greedy and grabby and have attitude problems, we protect them by not getting too close. Not letting them. Not by being mean or vicious. How do we avoid people who inevitably hurt and damage if they have the karma to do that? Just don't get too close. Not avoid them. Not hate them. Just avoid for now. That's what they do with criminals. They put them in jail, unfortunately. Until they can control themselves and they can show reform, and then they go for parole and they're let out. That's all it is. So therefore, what's very important now is remember all that. Create this energy. Create a KFR inside of you and a real KFR here. Many people will come. It will become a powerful institution. Don't be left behind. It will become that. Do you know why it will become that? Because I will work very hard towards it, and wherever I am, the Dharma will grow. Simple as that. Because every part of my fiber is Dharma. Wherever I go, wherever I abide, the Dharma will grow. Because that's my motivation. It's not because I'm better than you. That is my motivation. Wherever Tsem Rinpoche is, the Dharma will grow. You observe and watch. Even the animals around me will be more calmer and quieter. Because my intention is to benefit. I told you not because I'm better than you, because that's what I focus on. You can do the same. We're the same. Okay? Good.